ESPN being brought to you by the crisp, clean, imported taste of Labatt's Blue. It's blue heaven. And by Volvo, a car you can believe in. And by the U.S. Army. Learn how to get an edge on life. Be all you can be. Well, tonight's crucial game in the Patrick Division between the Islanders and Rangers, but really the way the Patrick Division is bunched together these days, every game is crucial. Every team from top to bottom is in the playoff chase. Let's take a look at the standings. You will see what I mean. Philadelphia's once wide lead is now down to just 4 points on Washington. Look at that. The Devils have won 3 in a row under new coach Jim Schoenfeld. They and the Islanders have this hour tied at 53. Should Pittsburgh win tonight, they'll have 53 points, and the Rangers have won 3 in a row to tighten it up from the bottom end of the standings in the Patrick Division. As far as the league scoring leaders go, we've updated it for you. Mario Lemieux just scored his 49th of the season a few moments ago against the Capitals. Lemieux still ahead of Wayne Gretzky, who's back with a vengeance. 2 games, 7 points, and 1 goal and 6 assists since coming back from the knee injury. He still trails Lemieux by 15 points, but don't expect Mr. Gretzky to be in second place too long. And you'll see Lemieux, Gretzky, Savard, Yzerman, all the stars of the NHL next Tuesday night right here on ESPN, because we'll be at the St. Louis Arena for the 39th annual NHL All-Star Game. The Stars from the Prince of Wales Conference against the Stars from the Clarence Campbell Conference. And our time will be 8 Eastern and 5 Pacific time. We also want to update you on that Buffalo-Quebec game. We understand the Buffalo Sabres have scored again. So the Sabres now firmly cemented in 3rd place in the Adams Division lead the Quebec Nordiques, who are really struggling under new coach Ron LaPointe after an initial spurt. It is 2-0 Buffalo. Now let's go live to the Nassau Coliseum. The Rangers and Islanders are ready to do battle. Here is Bill Clement and Dave Strader.
Thank you, Tom Mees. We are live at the Nassau Coliseum, Uniondale, New York. Islanders and Rangers. So we take a look at Dan Marwelli working the game tonight as the referee. Dan McCord and Ron Finn will be the linesmen assisting Mr. Marwelli tonight. This is the 5th meeting of the 8-game season series between these two clubs. The Islanders have won 2, the Rangers 1, and 1 game has ended in a draw. Breshner drives it in behind Billy Smith. Billy Smith in the nets for the Islanders. It is John Van Beesbrook down at the other end for the Rangers. Here's a chance right off the bench. Smith the save. As he went sliding across, he was able to rob Deblois, who was set up by Thomas Sandstrom.
And that is the first big defensive mistake of the game, Dave. I think this game will be won or lost with defensive mistakes. The Islanders aren't quite quick enough to recover when they make mistakes. Their defense is not that mobile. They get caught up ice here a little bit. Dennis Potvin was out from deep in his own end. There he is coming back, but that left Lucien Debois all alone in front of Billy Smith. So we'll watch for big defensive mistakes tonight and try and track them for you and to try and tell you who is committing them, who is not committing them. Billy Smith, no doubt, will face a lot of heat in front of him. John Van Beesbrook making his 4th straight start for the New York Rangers.
Rangers trying to keep the pressure on in the Islanders zone. Here's a steal by Kissio. Had it poked off his stick to the corner. Feeds it to the point. Gronstrand with a shot. It bounced in front. It was deflected wide by Smith. Trottier finally does clear the zone for the Islanders. Michel Petit drove it ahead. It was knocked down by Trottier. Pushes it across. Makela rolled it in on Van Beesbrook. He'll just wrist it down the ice. Where it's taken by Ken Leiter just off the bench for the Islanders. Opening minute of play. Rangers already with 1 good scoring chance as Van Beesbrook handles that shot from Leiter with ease. Michel Petit plays it around the boards. It'll be held in by Morrow. Ken Morrow wristing it in front, knocked down. And cleared center ice. Leiter has it there, number 29 for the Islanders. Makela on the right wing for Trottier. Tried to dump it in front. Dale Henry was there, but it was picked up by Michel Petit. Drives one from center ice, wide of Smith. Flatley. Bumped by Joe Patterson. One of the newly acquired Rangers we talked about at the top of the telecast. Number 27, Joe Patterson. Formerly of the LA Kings, also played in the Red Wings organization, was originally drafted by Detroit. As the Islanders clear it down into the Rangers zone, this is Derek King dumping it out into the slot. And we have a whistle for an offside pass, and the faceoff will come back inside the Islander line.
License UUS.
Well, I imagine Ron Gretzky will be an important man in Michel Bergeron's scheme of things going down the stretch. There's Bergeron. Wayne Cashman, his assistant, standing right beside him. You know, I have to wonder, Dave, when you take a look at the acquisition of Nyland along with Joe Patterson. There's Terry Simpson, the Islanders coach. But I have to wonder how much of that was Michel Bergeron asking Phil Esposito for a little bit of muscle. I don't think Michel Bergeron feels real comfortable without having a gunslinger, somebody that he can have as a bounty hunter when he needs him. It's an important ingredient to hockey still.
Well, he made a point when his Nordiques team won the Adams Division title a couple of years back. They were ranked second in the league in penalty minutes. It's something he has to have. He had guys like Dale Hunter there in Quebec, and now the Rangers have picked up a couple in Patterson and Nyland that they hope can provide the same thing for this Ranger team. This is Greg Gilbert, number 7 for the Islanders, trying to get around James Patrick. Just dumps it to the corner. LaFontaine is there, rolls it back to Gilbert, out in front. A chance here was tipped away. And Jan Eriksson up the left wing. He has Patrick. Drops it back for Patrick. Sandstrom was in front, couldn't get the pass through. Now here's Sandstrom, had it knocked away. And Dale Henry sends it ahead now for LaFontaine. Looking back for Henry, and the puck was knocked away. And here comes Marcel Dion now. Centers it for Eriksson. He was tied up by Gerald Diddick, rather. And Potvin able to clear it up on the right wing for Alan Kerr, number 10. Back now for Brent Sutter, the captain of the Islanders, leads it for Potvin. Let's go the shot into the glove of Van Beesbrook, and he'll hold it there.
You know, I'm not sure the Islanders want to end up engaged in a real wide-open game, and that's what we've had in these first few minutes, back and forth, end to end. Dennis Potvin does a good job of getting up on the play here to get this wrister high on John Van Beesbrook. Van Beesbrook snares it, but I'm just wondering if the Islanders wouldn't be better advised to slow it down a little bit.
No score here. Let's go back down to our NHL Tonight studio and Tom Mees for an update.
All right, Dave, thank you very much. At Le Colisée, the Buffalo Sabres on the power play, getting ready to strike again. This is Christian Ruuttu with a blast. That's in and out of the net before Mario Gosselin knows what hit him. It is 2-0 Buffalo in the first. Let's go back to Nassau Coliseum.
Labatt's blue.
Evening is nice.
Blue heaven.
I hurry to my
Smooth.
Clean. Crisp.
Labatt's blue.
turn to the right.
Imported beer from Canada.
We'll lead you to my
Labatt's blue. Yeah.
heaven.
Back live at the Nassau County Coliseum. Dave Strader along with Bill Clement. Glad you've joined us here, the NHL on ESPN. A good one in the making here between these rivals of the Patrick Division. The Islanders hosting the Rangers. Lucien Debelois, who had that chance on the first shift of the game, tried to dump it in front. Picked off there by Bassett, number 28, Bob Bassett. For the Islanders, clears at center ice, knocked out by Norm McIver. He gave it right away. Islanders trying to take advantage of that situation, but Lauer couldn't complete the play. Across the line now. Sandstrom drops it off. Here's McIver, dumps it out in front just beyond the reach of Sear. Shaw let a wrist shot go that went wide. Now Crom able to pump it, and Lauer out at center ice. Left it there for Crom. Rich Crom across the line, drops it for Bassett. Bassett takes a look across. It was picked off by Debelois. Lead pass was knocked away by Morrow. Good defensive player. Sear was down the ice on a breakaway.
Well, he had Sandstrom on this side too, Dave, so even if he was cut off on the other side, he was going to be able to shovel to Sandstrom. Good defensive play by Kenny Morrow.
Here comes Derek King for the Islanders across the line. Took a look on the right wing for Flatley, and it was knocked away by Walt Podubny. Just over 4 minutes gone by here in the first period. We apologize for some audio difficulties we had a moment ago. As Derek King pushes it across the Ranger line, but it's dumped right back out of there by Greshner. Flatley takes a look. Sends it across. King has it there. Tried to shovel it in for Sutter. James Patrick broke that up, and the Rangers back the other way. James Patrick on a rush across the line. He can do it offensively as a defenseman. Flatley hit by Patterson. Now Dahlen is in there. Dahlen tried to dump it in front. Patterson across to tie up Sutter. Derek King tried to clear. It's in back behind the Islander net. Islanders having some problems getting out of their own zone here in the early going against the Rangers. Conroy drives one in from center ice. Van Beesbroek handled that with ease. And Gronstrand, the former North Star, sent it across. Blocked by Conroy. To head now for Kerr. Kerr tried to shovel it across for Sutter. Erickson tied him up. John Erickson, number 20 for the Blue Shirts. And Gronstrand back to Erickson. He'll be checked hard by Kerr. Alan Kerr is probably the hardest hitting Islander. Sandstrom with a chance, fired it just wide of Billy Smith. And here comes Greg Gilbert, number 7. Lobs it into the Rangers zone. Van Beesbroek left it there for number 37, Norm McIver. Gilbert will bump him. And here's Marcel Dion, number 16. Had the puck for a moment. Now Erickson picks it up across the line. Fires a shot that's blocked wide. Gerald Diddick will chase it down in the corner. Nearly coughed it up there. Now here's Dion with a hit to knock it away for Sandstrom. Sandstrom got it off the boards. He's tied up now by Kerr. Here comes Maloney to pick up the loose puck. Don Maloney dumps it back to Sandstrom. A shot and a save by Smith as he held the short side. Sandstrom trying to get it back to Dion. Gilbert able to just clear it past Shaw. And here's a lead pass just out of the reach of Kerr as LaFontaine spotted a teammate in behind the Ranger defense, but the pass was deflected, and Kerr never had a chance to get it. Now a cross-ice pass for Kissio. Kissio trying to get around Morrow. Back to the top of the circle. Kissio lets it go off the glove of Billy Smith. Now Chris Nyland out there. LaFontaine got it to Makela, held in. Gronstrand a shot, and that hit a teammate. It was Nyland. He was trying to screen in front. Nyland with a hit on Leiter. And it's cleared by Morrow up the right wing side. Number 24, Mikko Makela has it. His pass finds the left wing, Dale Henry. Henry being pushed along the boards by Michel Petit. Petit pushed him off the puck. Kissio sends it ahead for Maloney. Maloney drove one right off the shin pad of Conroy. And now another giveaway, but Podubny was checked there by Henry. And the Islanders have it. Conroy, 3/4 length of the ice, and Van Beesbroek handled that one easily. Breshner lays it ahead. Oak Dahlen able to get it by Conroy. Coming across, though, Thomas Janssen has it for the Islanders. We've played over 7 minutes, and Bill Clement, very few stoppages in play. It's just been up and down the ice, not that many good scoring chances.
You know, the thing that strikes me the most, Dave, is what a difference this New York Rangers team. It's a different team. I was here a few weeks ago. We did a tie game here. This is a more confident Rangers team. It's a team that's doing things with intention, with cohesion when they forecheck. They're getting things done. They're making good decisions. They're simply a better hockey team now than they were a few weeks ago.
Here's Joe Patterson now in the corner, takes it along the end boards. Diddick will stand him up. Patterson one-hands it to the corner and goes to retrieve his own pass. And then he missed the point man, Breshner, who was back there. Breshner up the right wing board, taken there by Denny Potvin, the all-time NHL career scoring leader for defensemen. Now Morrow drives it in wide of Van Beesbroek. Eric King hops on that in the corner. He's checked by James Patrick. Flatley was checked as well by Devlois. Now Patrick plays it up the boards. That hit Sear and ended up in the Ranger bench out of play. 11:41 remaining in a scoreless first period.
The Porsche 944. The Volvo 740 Turbo Wagon. To you, they're two completely different cars. But to a radar gun, they look exactly alike.
Two other games underway this hour in the NHL. In Quebec City, Buffalo leads it 2-0 over the Nordiques. Arneal and Route to the goal scorers. In Pittsburgh, Mario Lemieux is 49th of the year. It's 1-0 Penguins after one. Let's go back to Long Island.
Thank you, Tom Mees. 11:41 remaining here. Scoreless first period. Bill Clement just talking about the Rangers being a more confident club, doing a lot more forechecking here on a road game, and this is the 5th game of a 7-game road swing for the Rangers.
And I said when this road trip started that we would get a much better feel for if the Rangers even have a chance to make the playoffs when the road trip is over. So far, 3-1 on the road trip.
Norm McIver goes wide on Morrow. Tries to weave his way through. Morrow picked him off, and the Islanders able to clear. Rich Fromm sent it back center ice. Now they jam up just outside the Islanders zone. Shaw comes up with it. The former Nordique sends it ahead for Lucien Deblois. Morrow puts a shoulder into him. Masson for the Islanders takes over. Drops it back for Morrow up the right wing side for Lauer. He'll wrist it in behind Van Beesbrook. And Beesbrook takes a look. And look out. That didn't touch anything. That is going to be a penalty. Automatic. The goaltender, John Van Beesbrook, will get called for delay of game. So the Islanders will have the first power play opportunity. There's no score.
I never dreamed I'd join the Army, but they gave me the opportunity of a lifetime.
121, 7 miles northwest, low fuel, heavy weather.
Army 121. Turn right, heading 150.
Army 121, Roger, 150.
Every time I help one of our choppers land, it puts me on cloud 9.
Runway in sight. Thanks for your help.
Roger.
So John Van Beesbrook has been charged with a delay of game penalty. Sometimes your greatest asset is also a liability. In this case, look at Van Beesbrook trying to shoot it around the glass, and he simply clears the glass. If it doesn't touch anybody and he shoots it directly into the crowd, that's not a discretion call. Meruelli just has to give him 2. It's an automatic delay of game call. Here's the Islanders power play.
They are 8th overall in the NHL at 22%. A quick chance in front for LaFontaine. It'll save Van Beesbrook. Big hit there by Erickson on Diddick, and back comes Ron Duguay. I believe his first shift of the game. Duguay sent to the minors to Colorado for a couple of games of reconditioning. He had missed 5 games because of back problems, but he's throwing his weight around as if he's having no pain in his back as he bumped there with Brian Trottier. Now LaFontaine, who just had that chance, drives it along the boards behind Van Beesbrook, and the Islanders with the man advantage offside going across the Ranger line.
Well, a quick way to learn an appreciation for the National Hockey League, Dave, is to end up having to take a little trip to the minors. And he is back, and he just banged into a couple of people out there. Here in the corner, watch the hit by Duguay. I'm not sure Ron Duguay would have hit like that. Of course, Trottier comes in to try and knock him off the puck, but I'm not sure Ron Duguay would have hit like that if he hadn't had that little refresher course in the minor leagues. I really think that everybody should spend some time in the minors, no matter how big a star you are or how ready you are for the National Hockey League, even if it's only 2 weeks, just to see how the other guys live down there.
There's a chance. Potvin was deflected before it got to Van Beesbrook. You got to look there a moment ago at the Rangers penalty killing. 15th in the NHL, but they've been good of late, allowing only 2 in their last 16 times shorthanded. Here's LaFontaine, top of the circle. Shovels it in deep for Makela. Makela behind the net, trying to get it in front. Michel Petit was there. And Petit rushes it up the ice. It's a 3-on-2 for the Rangers. Petit across the line, drops it back, missed Deblois. That creates a 2-on-1 the other way. LaFontaine with Makela. Makela couldn't handle the bouncing puck, and he'll be hit by Sear into the corner. Now Trottier will feed it to the point. Ken Leiter is waiting there. Back for Trottier between the circle. His pass deflected off of Sear, but Potvin holds it in. Back for Leiter. Leiter in the circle now. Behind the net for Trottier. Back for LaFontaine. Takes the shot. That went wide. I think Van Beesbrook got a piece of it, and the Rangers able to clear after some good Islander pressure.
And you know, it all started with Michel Petit leading the rush and not even saying to himself, listen, I'm the defenseman. If I'm in deep and drop it back and the guy behind me doesn't get it, the Islanders are going to come roaring the other way. That's exactly what happened, and he put his team in a big hole there for about 30 seconds.
Ronstrom was poke-checked there by the Islanders. Just a couple of seconds left in the Van Beesbrook penalty, being served by Thomas Sandstrom, who steps out on the ice. So the Ranger penalty killers do the job. Still a scoreless hockey game with just under 9 minutes remaining in the first period. Eric King dropped it back for Thomas Janssen. He tried to flip it across, deflected by Kissio, and Kelly Kissio able to clear the zone for the Rangers. Sutter back for Janssen. He'll try it again. Ahead for Flatley. Eric King had it and lost it. Grester, number 4 for the Rangers, sends it ahead for Chris Nyland. Nyland across the line. Tried to get it there to Ulf Dahlen. Nyland follows up. It was jammed along the boards, and here come the Islanders again with a 2-on-1. That's Flatley on the right side with Derek King. Here's the shovel pass, and Van Beesbrook broke it up. As the 2-on-1 really never results in a shot on goal.
But those are the big kind of errors that both of these teams have to avoid. They give up the power breaks. They will sooner or later give up goals.
8:16 remaining in a scoreless first period.
There's a town where the assembly line mentality does not exist, where craftsmanship is revered, where precision is a way of life. A town where the largest occupation is that of car maker. The town is Kalmar, Sweden, the only place in the world where this car could be built. The new Volvo 760.
Those 2-on-1s will track you down and will kill you sooner or later. The Rangers get away with one here. Here's a look from behind John Van Beesbroek. And you were right, Dave. It never even resulted in a shot on net, but James Patrick made a good play coming back. Yep. He plays the pass here. Look where Van Beesbroek is. If Patrick lets the pass go through, Van Beesbroek's in no man's land. So that's what faith is all about between the goalies and the defensemen.
Draw control by the Islanders. Lauer tried to weave his way free for a shot, but it's picked off. Here comes Podubny now. Drives it in behind Billy Smith, who left it there for Potvin. Denny Potvin up the right wing off the skate of Lauer. Rangers dump it right back in. Just under 8 minutes remaining first period, no score. Two other Patrick Division teams in action tonight. Washington and Pittsburgh. Tom Mees will keep us up to date on that and all the other action tonight in the National Hockey League. Although a pretty light schedule tonight. Gerald Dinnick checked by Podubny to the left of Billy Smith. Now Ulf Dahlen in bumping with Crom. Dahlen down on the ice, and likely Marwelli will call for the face-off out of center ice, as that man Ulf Dahlen was the one that forced the stop and play.
I think the Rangers are still waiting for a 1-2 European punch. You know, when they signed Anders Hedberg and Ulf Nilsson for the Winnipeg Jets of the World Hockey Association, what a difference that made to the Rangers team in the mid to late 70s when they landed those two guys. They just added a whole other strong line to their team. And now they have Tomas Sandstrom. If they can get another European to complement Sandstrom and even play him on the same line, Jan Eriksson does play with them at times, but I don't think we could say that they're in the 1-2 punch category of a Hedberg and Nilsson.
Johnson plays it ahead. Kerr checked from behind. And the Rangers drive it back in behind Billy Smith. Conroy has it there. Plays it ahead for LaFontaine. Flips it down inside the Ranger line. Michel Petit will catch up with it there. The former Vancouver Canuck sends it to Gronstrand. His pass does not connect with Eriksson. Conroy back to get it. Marcel Dion out there centering a line for Michel Bergeron. Dion between Thomas Sandstrom and Jan Eriksson. Dion missed a lot of action of late because of an arthritic knee. Here comes LaFontaine for the Islanders. Cuts behind the net, tries to wrap it around. Van Beesbroek made the save. And LaFontaine tried to stuff it in on the backhand, short side, and Van Beesbroek just held his ground.
Alan Kerr must be well aware of what Pat LaFontaine likes to do when he gets around the net, because Kerr came all the way into the long side, the side that LaFontaine had just vacated, looking for it to squeeze through. Watch, there's Alan Kerr, number 10. Watch what he does. He will show up in your picture shortly after LaFontaine goes around. There's the stuffer. Right on the left of your screen was Alan Kerr trying to sneak in for hopefully a puck that squeezed through.
Puck in behind Van Beesbroek. James Patrick will dig it out of there for the Rangers. Sends it ahead now for Maloney, one of the assistant captains. Into the corner, Morrow. Played it back up the board. Dale Henry checked by Patrick. Here's Kissio. In for Maloney. He'll take the hit. Nyland comes back to try to dig it free, but the Islanders, Trottier got it loose for Ken Leiter. Ahead now for Makela. Makela trying to go wide on Kreshner. Holds up. Looks for a late man, and Ken Leiter was cruising through the slot, but the pass, too much steam on it. The Rangers able to clear. Morrow back to get it now for the Islanders. Out there with Ken Leiter, who has it now, the former Michigan State University standout. Ulf Dahlen for the Rangers, recovers in his own zone, sends it ahead for Joe Patterson. Patterson flips it ahead. Dahlen trying to catch up to it off the boards. Billy Smith came out to sweep it for the defenseman Potvin. And the Islanders clear again. Here's Flatley. across the line. He's there with number 27, King. Now it's picked off by McIver of the Rangers. Diddick pinched in, and the Rangers take it away. And a lead pass here now for McIver up the right wing. McIver takes a look, sends it across, and Joe Patterson, who was streaking in, lost his balance and couldn't retrieve the centering pass. And the Islanders' Pom Bam will clear again. He'll wrist it in from center ice. Islanders changing their defense now as Michel Petit plays it off the board. Out to center ice. Dahlin will drive one in, deflected wide of Smith. Now Sear comes in. He's crunched by Conroy. Number 3, Thomas Janssen up the left wing. King had it and lost it. Rangers, though, couldn't take advantage of that, and it's cleared by Janssen off the board, all the way down on Van Beesbrook, who handles the rolling puck. Less than 5 minutes remaining. First period, no score. Paul Sear, acquired from the Buffalo Sabres for Mike Donnelly, and a couple of draft picks involved, one going in each direction. Smith played it to the corner. Sandstrom knocked it down. Here's Sandstrom in front, and he was looking for Gronstrand, who was tied up there by Lauer. Now it's kicked free by Deblois on the corner. Deblois being worked over by Masson. Now Janssen didn't have much room, but he was able to squirt free, and the Islanders come out. Led by Crom, dumps it in the left wing corner. Off the board, played by Van Beesbrook. Here's Lauer now, rather Crom, sending it across. Morrow pinches in. He overskated the puck, and the Rangers will come out of there with it. Petit wristing it in wide of Smith. And Lauer has it for the Islanders, ahead for Leiter. Right back for Lauer. Up the middle now for Crom. He'll flip it in on Van Beesbrook. Now Maloney takes over for the Rangers. Less than 4 minutes to go. Very rapidly played first period. Maloney played it ahead. It'll be held in by Leiter. Into the corner for Trottier. He couldn't control. Now Macklin and Greshner line each other up. Puck comes off the boards right to number 30 for the Rangers, Chris Nyland. Nyland, not noted for his stick handling, did get it across center ice, and the Rangers dump it in. Morrow shouldered there by Maloney. Now Maloney goes down. Here's Kissio in the corner now. He has Sandstrom out at the top of the circle, but couldn't get the puck loose off the board. So with 3:18 to go in the first period, Marwelli blows the whistle. We have no score.
When whippoorwills call,
Blue. Blue heaven.
I heard you mine. Blue heaven.
Labatt's blue.
A turn to the right will lead you to mine.
Imported beer from Canada.
A reminder to be with us next Tuesday night, live from St. Louis Arena, the 39th annual NHL All-Star Game, the best of the Clarence Campbell Conference against the best of the Prince of Wales Conference, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific time, and stay with us between periods. We'll have highlights, scores, and the players of the week, and lots more. The NHL Tonight continues on ESPN. Let's go back to Long Island. Dave Strader and Bill Clement.
All right, Tom, we're looking at a couple of players here tonight that are going to be representing their respective teams. Dennis Potvin of the New York Islanders, Tomas Sandstrom of the New York Rangers will be there, and a host of other superstars.
Here's Dion trying to get it out in front. It was poked away by LaFontaine. And now Norm McIver could not hold it in for the Rangers. Kerr bearing down on McIver. McIver just backhands it out center ice. Good play there by Erickson. Deflected to Dion. Lets the shot go. And the save by Smith. Now LaFontaine got it to Gilbert. Out to center ice, Alan Kerr. Off for Conroy, a long shot. Sent to the corner by Van Beesbrook. They battle for it there. Back to the corner. Now McIver checked by Kerr. It goes around the Ranger net, and it's chipped over the glass and out of play by the Ranger defenseman Shaw. 2:38 remaining in the first period. Islanders and Rangers are scoreless.
How well does your car stand up to heavy traffic?
Back live back to the Nassau County Coliseum. Dave Strader along with Bill Clement here on ESPN. The Islanders and Rangers. No score with 2:38 to go in the first period. Face off to the right of Van Beesbrook in the Rangers zone. Brent Sutter wins the draw for the Islanders. Potvin sends it across. Diddick send it back the other way, looking for Sutter. Dowland bumped by Sutter, but the Rangers clear. Now here's Flatley, winds up, long range shot. Van Beesbrook just held his ground, and he wrists it off that short glass all the way down the ice. So the fact that Van Beesbrook had one delay of game penalty, Bill, hasn't discouraged him from that long-range shooting of the puck.
Well, he gauged it down about 4 feet. He had about 4 feet of glass left to work with on that one.
Derek King sent it ahead. Flatley bumped center ice by Gronstrand. Now Michel Petit played it ahead, and it's backhanded by Ulf Dahlen in behind Billy Smith. Dennis Potvin wristing it rink wide. It was knocked down by Duguay. Two Rangers saw the puck. Neither one went for it. Here comes Sutter the other way. Backhand shot into the glove of Van Beesbrook. He'll hold on, and Sutter went hard into the net. Took a poke at Greshner, and now everybody getting into the act. Sutter was in kind of an awkward position there. I don't think Greshner was really trying to drive him into the net, but that's the way it looked.
And he lost his balance and ended up going in backwards. And that might cloud the fact that the Rangers made a real strong defensive play coming back in. There was a crisscross between Sutter and Derek King. They picked up that. They picked up the late guy coming. Islanders didn't even come close to having a scoring chance on that. The Rangers not only forechecking a lot better in the Islanders zone, but really picking things up better when they come back into their end. And that had to wear off a little bit. You know, Michel Bergeron is a coach that stresses a lot of strong defensive play, and sometimes it takes at least half a season to start believing in that kind of thing. Here's a look at it. Van Beesbrook has the puck at this point. Gressner just, I think he had a stick between Sutter's legs and turned him around. But you can see that no one actually pressured Van Beesbrook. Here's the exchange.
About to say, Bill, that started out at center ice when Ron Duguay and another Ranger, they combined to knock the puck loose. They both looked at it. They said, I've got it, you take it. Away the Islanders went.
Greshner of the Rangers, Sutter of the Islanders, 2 each for roughing at 18:15.
So Greshner of the Rangers and Sutter of the Islanders each get 2 minutes for roughing at 18:15 of the first period. So they'll go to their respective dressing rooms for the rest of this period. Here's Deblois. He had that real good chance the first shift of the hockey game. Duguay in there. Kicks it free to Deblois. Tried to backhand it across the crease. It was blocked. Now Deblois, Billy Smith didn't see it. It hit him. It looked like in the left pad and just landed on the net there outside the post. Here's Lucien Deblois, actually his second tour of duty with the Rangers. Originally their first pick back in '77, Bill, and after leaving the Rangers, went to Winnipeg, Montreal, and then came back to the Big Apple.
I think he went to Colorado first. He was involved in that Barry Beck deal with the whole busload of players heading west to Colorado and Barry Beck heading east to the Rangers. But he has made a few stops.
Well, the Rangers have a couple of boomerangs that they've thrown away and come back. Ron Duguay going to Detroit, then to Pittsburgh, and back to New York.
Well, guess what? They also acquired 9 players that they've sent away in the last year and a half. Part of Esposito's trading, he acquired 9 different players that he's already shipped off. So some guys come and don't stay very long.
Magdala drops it back for Potvin. Potvin across the line. That play offside at the Ranger blue line. Yeah, we mentioned that Esposito's made, what, 30 trades, and included in that would be 9 guys that have been acquired. Nope, I guess I don't like him. Send him back someplace else.
Well, there's one that he acquired and kept, and for a good reason. Kelly Kissio, immediately when he arrived from Detroit's organization into the Rangers organization, really came into his own. He plays strong defensively, strong offensively. He contributes in just about every area, and that's one of the reasons he's wearing the C. That has been one of Phil Esposito's very, very bright spots as far as his trading record.
Face off right in front of that Ranger bench with 1:13 to go. Now Potvin center ice. He'll wrist it in wide of Van Beesbrook. Ronstrand will chase it down. Looking just to get it out of there. Held in by Diddick.
Last clear on Laser.
Michel Petit out to center ice. Less than a minute remaining now. Diddick plays it back the other way. Knocked down by Ronstrand across the line. He got by Diddick. Ronstrand tried to dump it in front. It was blocked by Potvin. Sends it to Kerr. Kerr took a little too much time with it. Had to dump it back. Now Billy Smith drops it for Diddick up the right wing boards. Kerr is waiting there. He'll just sweep it out center ice. Sandstrom had it, lost it. Greg Gilbert. Across the line for Potvin. Potvin moves in. Couldn't get the shot through. It was blocked by Petit. LaFontaine behind the net. He lost it. Here's a chance for the Islanders. And Van Beesbrook right in the crease. Stopped that. Attempted wraparound play by number 10, Alan Kerr.
And you know, Dave, it seems that the Rangers have only gotten into trouble when the Islanders are able to penetrate very close to John Van Beesbrook and get in around the net. And I can't take anything away from Marcel Dionne's achievements or Walt Poddubny's for that matter offensively. There's Dionne in front of the net taking care of his check. But the New York Rangers aren't blessed with many defensive centermen. You see that Dionne ultimately left Alan Kerr, didn't follow him behind, and that let Kerr sneak in behind, pick up the puck, and Marcel had to try and track him down as he came around the other side of the net. So the Rangers aren't really blessed with a lot of good checking centermen, although they're good the other way. Marcel is, and Walt Poddubny, his totals speak for themselves. So those centermen are supposed to become defensemen back in there. They have the right to go everywhere in the building, including in behind the net, to help out John Van Beesbrook and the defensemen. And very often, centermen don't get back in deep enough, and you end up with breakdowns right around the goal.
Ron Duguay won that faceoff from Trottier. Less than 20 seconds left of the period. Now Poddubny mad at himself as he didn't handle that pass. Thomas Johnson sends it ahead. Trottier, number 19. Up the middle now for Henry. Let's go the wrist shot that Van Beesbrook blocked sail wide. And the final seconds tick down. Kemper's getting short back there as that's Dale Henry. And David Shaw starting to go at it just as the buzzer sounded.
Well, I don't know what happened, but they didn't ask many questions at all. Dale Henry started punching even though he was in the clinch. A series of 25 rabbit punches.
Well, as Henry goes down on top, of course, the Nassau County Coliseum crowd figures he's won the confrontation.
Well, that's it. You always think that your guy won when he lands on top, no matter how many times he got hit in the face.
Scoreless first period. Ends in a physical way. Let's go back down to our ESPN NHL Tonight studios in Tom East. Tom?
All right, Dave and Bill, I told you to buckle your seatbelts, and now we know why. This thing could be heating up emotionally as the evening goes on. Very important tilt for both teams. Scoreless after one, but penalties coming at the 20-minute mark of the first period. Meanwhile, up at Le Colisée, just moments ago, the Quebec Nordiques are on the board. Watches behind the net. There'll be a loose puck. That's Lane Lambert in white, number 7. Tom Barrasso loses sight of him. Doesn't know where he is. And now he knows where the puck is in the net. In the second period early, Buffalo's lead has shrunk now to 2-1 over the Quebec Nordiques. We'll be checking in live on that game as well as the game in Pittsburgh between the Capitals and the Pittsburgh Penguins as the NHL Tonight continues in just a moment.
Hi, y'all are. You know what this flat old tater chip is, huh? This is just a way for filling up your hungry spot, that's all. But this is a Ruffles potato chip. Oh, yeah, Ruffles got ridges. And they taste so good. Oh, man, they don't just fool your hungry spot, no. They make you have your enjoys all the way plumb. I guarantee.
Ruffles brand potato chips. The taste won't leave you flat.
Watch me get a big enjoy with this one. Oh, man.
Oh, it hurts. It hurts. Can you... American Express? My daughter and I just had an accident.
Do you need a doctor?
I think she's got a broken wrist.
That was some trip. I'd like to keep this while you're away at school.
Sure.
I've got something for you.
It's got my name on it.
Just in case.
Thank you.
Someone who cares when you're far from home. Membership has its privileges.
When my nose is stuffed, I want it unstuffed fast. Boom, now!
Neosynephrine starts you breathing fast in a neosecond.
Neosynephrine, yeah. But it's got to work fast, really fast.
Nothing works faster or better than today's Neosynephrine. It starts working in a neosecond.
A neosecond. I like that.
For free breathing fast, you know you can trust Neosynephrine.
Breathing. I like that.
Neosynephrine. Relief in a neosecond.
To fathers about the Kodak Color Watch system. A true test of dadhood. You've been entrusted with precious rolls of Kodak film. The family is counting on old Dad to get great developing, so you look for the Kodak Color Watch seal. Color Watch means great developing. This seal means every picture is printed on Kodak paper, so your photos will look wonderful, and your son will let you borrow the car. Kodak Color Watch for great developing. You're going to thank me for it.
There is no score after one period at Nassau Coliseum on Long Island. We have a score from Quebec. Quebec has just tied up Buffalo 2-2. We'll have the highlight, that second goal for Quebec, for you in just a few moments. First of all, news from the National Hockey League. Co-performers of the week this week in the Dodge Performer of the Week category could make up their minds, and with good reason, on two goaltenders. Number one, Pete Peters of the Washington Capitals. What a week he had as he helped the Caps beat the Montreal Canadiens on Friday night. And then Sunday afternoon at the Cap Center, Peters held the fort in a 1-0 shutout victory over the Philadelphia Flyers. The result, 2 wins, no losses, and a goals against a below 2, 1.74. And then there's goaltender Bob Sauvé of the New Jersey Devils. He was picked up as a free agent this year. Sauvé was supposed to be the backup for Alain Chevrier, not too highly thought of by some critics in the New York area, but Sauvé had an outstanding week as the Devils now won 3 games in a row to climb right back in the middle of the Pac Division playoff chase. Sauvé, for his part, 2 wins, no losses, a goals against of just over 1. Look at that, 1.02. Other news from the NHL, General Manager Lou Nanne of the Minnesota North Stars, in his 10th season at the helm of the North Star organization, decided to resign this past week. Stars missed the playoffs last year, are in deep trouble, and may not make the playoffs again this year in the North Division. Nanne said the competitive pressures on him and his family made the decision to retire right now, although Nanne will be staying on and is staying on the North Stars organization until a successor can be found. Our best wishes to a good friend, Lou Nanne of the Minnesota North Stars. Well, the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Washington Capitals are in a good one. In Pittsburgh, it is the Penguins leading at 1-0. Let's check in now with Mike Fornes and Al Koch, and they're in the second period. Gentlemen, what's happening?
Rink wide to Dave Christian. His slap shot wide of the net, and Dave Hunter picks it up for Pittsburgh. He sends it all the way down. Penguins 1, Capitals nothing. 13:05 to play here in the second period. 1 minute and 5 seconds remaining on the penalty call to Dan Quinn for cross-checking. That came at 6:05 of period 2. Gustafson in to throw a hit, takes the puck away. Over to Greg Adams. Adams to the side of the net. Here's Gustafson back of the goal. Waits on Adams in front. Now goes over to the corner, and it gets away, going all the way past Christian, out to center ice. Kevin Hatcher. Over to Gary Gallant. Gustafson takes over at center ice. 30 seconds left on the power play. Lemieux steals from Gartner and flips it ahead to center. The pass is onside. Here comes Cunnyworth cutting in front, and Galley is in there with his stick to sweep it away. Poked away from Galley now by Cunnyworth back to the corner. Larry Murphy has to do some skating behind the net. Brings it over to Gustafson. Bengt Gustafson ahead to Murphy. Murphy across the line. Feeds it on the right wing for Gartner. Back to Murphy. Back to Gartner. That's broken up. Here comes Coffey. Penalty's over. The Penguins at full strength. Coffey. Drop pass for Quinn. His shot blocked by Galley. And Galley leads it ahead now for Gustafson. In on Villa Siren. Gustafson stops in the corner. Looks for Gartner. And Siren pins into the board. Dan Quinn starts out. Gustafson near the end of his shift goes back to the bench. Bill Holder starts out for Gartner. Bobby Gould hops on the ice for the Capitals. Lead pass to center. Steve Godis gets it across the line for Troy Loney. Langway ties him up. The puck to the corner. Langway in on Godis. Centered, slap shot. Peters just got his shoulder on it. It deflects it wide. Sundstrom is hit by Dahlquist, and the puck comes back into the Pittsburgh zone. Here's Godis turning in his own end. Leads it to center. There's going to be...
So the Pittsburgh Penguins still leading the Washington Capitals 1-0 on a goal in the first period by Mario Lemieux on the power play, his 49th of the year. After one period on Long Island, the Rangers nothing, the Islanders nothing. Will continue in just a moment.
Murnay's
quality furniture and accessories at affordable prices. We encourage special orders to satisfy your individual needs. Friendly, personal service plus in-home decorating at no additional charge. The Stratford grand opening is available in leather or fabrics. Our prices beat them all. In our new chair promotion, you may choose from 12 styles in 98 different fabrics. Visit our new clearance center at 7400 Wiles Road, Murnane's in Coral Springs.
The Quadrangle Athletic Club has been serving Broward County for over 8 years under the original ownership. We've outlasted all the others because we're the best sports in town. Fitness is a family affair. We're the only facility with a professionally trained, fully staffed child care center. The Quad can fulfill your exercise needs, whether it's to look better, feel better, or manage stress. We're clean, friendly, and best of all, affordable. For limited time only, save $50 off your one-time membership initiation fee and 3 months free. Call now or come by the Quadrangle Athletic Club. Fitness at its very best.
Where champions begin.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Mike Tyson, Terrence Ali, Ray Boom Boom Mancini. Superstars who forge steel nerves and iron punches on Budweiser's top-ranked boxing.
Former heavyweight champion George Foreman goes for another knockout. Plus, Bernard Taylor and Jeff Franklin battle for the NABF featherweight crown. Live Friday night on ESPN.
Back live at the Nassau County Coliseum here on ESPN. Dave Strader along with Bill Clement. Scoreless first 20 minutes of play. And Bill, we talk about our game keys here on ESPN. Let's get right to them for the first 20 minutes.
All right, power plays really didn't have any effect on what we're going to talk about here because there was only one in the first period. There you see it. Rangers didn't have one. Islanders went 0 for 1. Hits, that's a lot of hits for one period of hockey. We're talking 33 hits. Every time somebody touched the puck out there, Dave, they were paying the price. Power breaks, the New York Islanders had 2 2-on-1s and didn't even manage a shot on goal. That tells you that New York, the Rangers pretty well recovered well once they got back into their own end. They still broke down enough to give the Islanders 2 2-on-1s, however. Total shots, this is misleading too. 4 of the Islanders' shots were from outside the blue line and 2 of them were on a power play. Take away those 6, you end up with 5 shots for the Islanders and 4 shots for the Rangers. Quality shots, those were pretty even as well. All in all, a pretty evenly played period.
Well, you see the 18 hits for the New York Rangers, and we talked about a couple of key guys, Patterson and Nyland, that were acquired, and they had a third of those hits.
They did. Patterson had 4 hits that period, and Chris Nyland had 2 hits. That adds up to 6. 33%. They are doing what they're supposed to do, especially on the road. It's important that they hit on the road.
All right, and the first period ended in an altercation, so we can expect more in the second and third period. Scoreless at the end of 1. We'll be back with more in just a moment.
Grandmaster K.C. Chung, 4-time World Taekwondo Champion, 8th degree black belt, 30 years experience, invites men, women, and children to learn self-defense, self-confidence, mental discipline, and fitness through the art of Taekwondo. Continue your workout in a complete Nautilus Center and Spa facility. Join now and receive a free uniform. Call 977-5200, K.C. Chung Taekwondo.
Welcome to Cable TV of Coral Springs Photo Display Advertising, a new, unique, and effective advertising tool. Utilizing a simple picture or logo of your product, service, or business, a full-color photo ad can be produced, reaching a potential of 48,000 Coral Springs residents on CSTV Channel 11. For more information about your photo display ad, call Cable TV's advertising department at 753-0100.
Defenseman to keep the net clear and give them a good view of the puck. That's team hockey. I'm Lou Nanny, and 400,000 Americans with retinitis pigmentosa, RP, also get help from a team. The RP Foundation Fighting Blindness. They're researching for the cause, treatment, and prevention of this hereditary eye disease. We are counting on the RP team because saving sight is one of the greatest saves you can make. For more information, call 1-800-638-2300.
Welcome back to the NHL Tonight studios. I'm Tom Mees on the Bud Light scoreboard. 2 other games underway at this hour. Buffalo and Quebec in a real barn burner. 2-2 in the second. We're going up there in a moment. In Pittsburgh, it is still the Penguins leading Washington 1-0. A little bit later tonight, the LA Kings are skating in Vancouver. Now let's go live to Le Colisée, where the Quebec Nordiques, I understand, are getting ready to go on a power play. Michel Goulet was hooked down on a breakaway. Let's go now to Ted Darling and Mike Robitaille. Check in live, gentlemen.
The speedy Goulet who can pull away from most players, and the only reason he didn't pull away from Krupp was because now they go to the live action, and they'll come all the way back into the Nordique zone. Richard will go back after it. Nordiques on their third power play. Peter Stastny. He will flip it into the Buffalo zone. Johansson is there to shoot it right back to center ice. Now Brown takes a long drive into Barrasso. Looks for that opening, sends it high into the air, back into the Nordique zone. Now they come back, led by Brown. In over the Buffalo ice, shooting right out. Barrasso the save, it'll come back with the side of the net. Richard will keep it in for the Nordique. Goulet. Richard shooting. Barrasso the save, and knocks the rebound back to Brown. Into the corner and goes. Now Peter Stastny. Here's a pass right in front. Knocked away. Goulet couldn't get the shot. He got tied up with Barrasso in the goal crease. And the puck will come back over the line with 50 seconds left in the power play. Anton Stastny giving it to Richard. There's the pass back. It'll come to Goulet. Peter Stastny got his brother Anton in front off an ankle. Here's Richard trying to get it over now, but it hits Kalkitis back into the corner to Richard. Kalkitis and Peter Stastny were mixing it up for a moment. Here's Rochefort. Goulet. Richard moving in with the pass. Blocked nicely by Kalkitis. Now taken by Stastny. 24 seconds left in the Buffalo penalty. Anton Stastny. Far side, Rochefort moving in with the shot, tipped wide. Back it'll come to Richard. Here it comes to Anton Stastny to his brother Peter, right behind the net. Blocked there by Housley, taken by Rochefort. Housley trying to get it. Finally, Arneal comes up with it, and the penalty is expired.
So a lot of nice passing by the Quebec Nordiques, but no business, no cigar in the power play. That game remains tied at 2. That's the Bud Light scoreboard. The NHL tonight continues in a moment.
Hey, how you doing? Good. In fact, I feel like light. Hey. What the? Uh-oh. I am so. Oh, no. Well, I meant Bud Light.
If you want the less filling light beer with the first name and taste, ask for Bud Light, because everything else...
You all right? Sure, just a little lightheaded.
It's just a light.
There's nothing like Pizza Hut pan pizza.
Making it thick, making it tall, making it splash and having it all. Making it heat, making it deep. Sizzle and drizzle, steam and steaming. Making it early, making it late. Pizza Hut, making it great.
The great taste of pan pizza. 2 layers of cheese, lots of toppings, and a chewy crust. It's America's favorite.
Pizza Hut, making it great.
Now that we're a family, some things have become a lot more important to us. When we had our home insulated, we were concerned about our heating and cooling bills, but we were more concerned about fire safety. So, we selected CertainTeed InsulSafe 3. InsulSafe is non-combustible, thermally efficient fiberglass insulation. Sure, saving energy is important to us, but insulating safely is what InsulSafe is all about.
Leave it to the good hands, people.
Memories. Nothing evokes them like the house they grew up in. The first stairway he climbed, the first railing they peeked through, the first banister she floated down. All part of the reason the Allstate Home Replacement Cost Guarantee exists. To help rebuild your home, whatever the cost, right down to the spot where Dad hung his hat. The Allstate Home Replacement Cost Guarantee. Another reason.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
Back live from the Nassau County Coliseum here on ESPN. Dave Strader along with Bill Clement. As the second period just underway. Dave Shaw for the Rangers and Dale Henry for the Islanders, each serving 5-minute majors for fighting that they received at the 20-minute mark of the first period. Gerald Diddick, number 4, checked by Sear. Sear rolled it ahead. It was blocked center ice and sent right back in by Crom. Van Beesbrook left it there for Kronstrand. He'll drive it down the ice. No icing as Diddick could have played that puck. Gerald Diddick, number 4, back to get it. Well, the Islanders plays it off the short glass. Didn't get it out of the zone. It's poked back in further, and Diddick will retrieve one more time. Plays it ahead for Crom. Crom sends it ahead on the move now for Brad Lauer. Lauer met by McIver. Tried to slide it by him. Now Lauer along the boards. Fell down. Joe Patterson over there along with McIver. And Norm McIver has it now for the Rangers. Up on the left wing for Patterson. Patterson gets it off for Michel Petit across the line. Bouncing puck there. And O'Donnell on the right wing was in ahead of the play. Second period action of the NHL on ESPN is brought to you by Budweiser. Proud sponsor of the 1988 U.S. Olympic team. This Bud's for you. By Dodge Cars and Trucks. For performance on road and off, it's gotta be a Dodge. And by the makers of Campbell's Chunky Soup. It takes care of the meanest appetites. Just under 2 minutes gone by here in the second period. Scoreless hockey game, Rangers and Islanders. Well, Podubny out there to take the draw against Sutter. Morrow slides it across. Ben Leiter got it ahead, but the pass did not connect with Kerr. He and Patterson. Oh, Patterson was going to get the extra 2 there, and now they're going to drop the gloves and go, but I think Patterson was going to get the extra 2 as he really leveled Alan Kerr.
This is kind of interesting, Dave. 2 left-handers. Patterson's a lefty, and so is Alan Kerr. And they both went for the pile driver first. They both tried to tie up each other's left. Well, wait a minute. Maybe Alan Kerr can go both ways.
Yeah, he's trying to throw the right. That's Dale Henry, who's already in the box for his altercation. The linesman trying to find a spot to squeeze in there. Patterson throws one more for good measure. Before finally Ron Flynn and Dan McCourt. 18:43. Scoreless second period. We'll be back in a moment.
Dodge Shadow ES. When you look at its 60 standard features, its turbocharged engine, its 770 protection plan, when you consider the fact that the Shadow ES is a better value, almost $700 less than the Chevy Cavalier C24, you'll agree, when it comes to outstanding value, it's gotta be a Dodge. The Dodge Shadow ES.
Gotta be a Dodge.
Fighting at 117.
5 minutes each for fighting to Alan Kerr and to Joe Patterson. Take a look at these numbers. 19.9 for the Islanders. And the Islanders have fewer major penalties for fighting than any other team in the National Hockey League.
I was looking this morning. You look at the other end of the spectrum. The Detroit Red Wings are the most penalized team in the NHL. 31 minutes. That's 12 minutes per game. But over the course of the 50 or so games the two teams have played, for the total of those 50 games, the Red Wings have been shorthanded only 20 more times than the Islanders. And on top of that, the Red Wings have given up fewer power play goals. So they're a tougher, more aggressive team according to those numbers, and the other teams aren't making them pay because the penalty killers are doing the job.
Well, exactly. If you have a tough team, you have to make sure you can back it up. The Red Wings do with good penalty killing, but that's something you have to have if you want to play that style.
Of course, you played on a few teams back in the early 70s with the Flyers.
Yeah, we had great penalty killing. We did. That's what was able to keep us in hockey games, because we took a lot of penalties.
LaFontaine for the Islanders ahead now for Lauer. He was shouldered off the puck by Kreshner, and now Don Erickson sends it in wide of Billy Smith. Now Crom takes a look for the Islanders, sends it across for Lauer. Lauer just played it up the boards, got it to center ice. Kreshner was waiting there. Flips it right back into the Islanders zone. Incidentally, Kerr and Patterson each got 5 for fighting at 117, so I think Joe Patterson may have gotten away with a little something there as he seemed to initiate that. Here's a Thomas Johnson shot. It was handled easily by Van Beesbrook. Up the center ice now, Maloney. Dropped it back there, Michel Petit. Back backhands it in wide of Smith as the Islander fans react to a hit just outside the Islander zone. Now long pass from Makela, number 24. He's trying to go wide on Gronstrand. Now Makela left it there for Kram. Sent it across. He was looking for Trottier. Deflects the pop in. Bouncing shot Van Beesbrook. Sent it away. Trottier. Checked there by Michel Petit. Marwelli taking a good look at that as the fans want a holding penalty against Michel Petit. Trottier finally able to break the grip of number 24.
Brian's like a caged animal when he gets held like that. He's very strong. Michel Petit had him pinned against the boards, and you could just see his anxiety level. Trottier's at least, 19 for the Islanders, but getting higher and higher and higher.
Michel Petit, one of those 30 trades that Esposito has made, brought over from Vancouver for Melnick and Willie Huber.
Keep your head up. Look out, there comes Gerald Diddick across to take out Don Maloney.
Maloney's felt enough of those. You know, speaking of the All-Star game, Maloney was the MVP of the All-Star game back in '84. A 7-6 game. He had 4 points that night. That'll be quite a thrill to win MVP with all the great stars of the National Hockey League on the ice at the same time. Of course, we'll have it all here on ESPN next Tuesday. From St. Louis, pass in front. Went all the way through the Islander goal mouth. Here's James Patrick in deep from his point position. Rolls it out in front. A shot just wide of Billy Smith. Paul Podubny with that chance.
What do you think the chances are of us ending up in a scoreless tie in regulation? The reason I say that is that I think at times when we sit here and we talk about stuff like that, we induce goals or we induce a penalty. Let's see how long it takes for somebody to score a goal now. This one came right out into the slot, but you can see Billy Smith has a good look at it. Just a last-second deflection by one of the Islanders in front there. Is that Basson, 28?
Just did get his stick on it there. See that on the replay. It was Basson. We got a piece of that Walt Podubny shot.
That's the quality area within the quality shot area. You get about 15 feet in front. That's prime real estate.
Matt LaFontaine, born in St. Louis, but grew up in the Detroit area. Played his minor hockey in and around the Detroit region. And, of course, was a tremendous scorer in the Quebec Junior League. Here's a shot right on Billy Smith. And it's swept away up over the glass out of play. And the other number 16 on the ice tonight, Marcel Dion. You know, he needs just 4 goals to tie his general manager for that second spot all-time in goal scoring in the National Hockey League.
Oh, he's strong on the faceoffs. You know what else he needs is to stay healthy. He tried to go right to the net on Billy Smith with that one. You know what else he needs is to stay healthy down the stretch. He's been plagued by a knee problem this hockey season, and it's about this time of year that the word depth really creeps into a lot of people's vocabularies, because teams that don't have it really can be crippled, literally, figuratively, when they're going down to the wire trying to get the playoff spot, and injuries are such a key part. When we get a chance, we can maybe talk about the depth on certain teams around the league.
Johnson backhands it up the boards to Lauer. Brad Lauer now races to center ice. Looks it in wide of Van Beesbrook, who got a piece of it with the stick. Now here's Lauer. Sent it back in front. Deflected by backhanded. A chance there for Greg Gilbert. And somehow it stayed out of there. Dion sends it ahead now for Michel Petit, who's moved up on the play. Poked off of his stick, and Gronstrand will drive it in behind Billy Smith. Thomas Johnson has it there. Just over 4 minutes gone by in the second period. Lauer pushes it in on Van Beesbrook. He'll wrist it away himself, and Dion picks it up. 2 Islanders are back. Dion now trying to get around Gilbert. Drops it back for Kressner. Has a man open. Duguay with a chance. Billy Smith the save, as Duguay didn't get much on that, and then he was injured, as it looked like the Islanders player's skate may have come up and hit him. Ron Duguay over to the bench, and he is hurting. As play is stopped with 15:20 to go. Second period, there's no score.
Okay, listen up.
Oakley here is filling in for Ball tonight.
For 3 years, Bill Oakley took orders. But tonight, he's got to stand up and take charge.
You make America work.
Here's to you, the clean, crisp taste of Beechwood-aged Budweiser. For all the guys who know it's not what you say, but what you do.
Ron Duguay is catching his breath on the bench. What a great pass it was from Ron Greshner over to Duguay. Here it is. Greshner has it. He sees Duguay going in. Lauer will hook Duguay at the perfect time, and Duguay never even does get the shot away. One more look at it. Lauer puts the hook on him. He misses the shot. Follows through. Pretty difficult from that to tell where he got hit. I'm wondering if it wasn't the actual hook or the stick that got him. Maybe Lauer didn't hook him as much as poke him in the ribs with the stick. Anyways.
Duguay down to the dressing room and try to keep you posted on that injury. As play continues here. Makela checked by Maloney. Greshner holds it in. His shot along the ice, handled by Smith. Now Leiter had it and lost it. Here's Kissio for the Rangers. Sends it into the slot for Patrick. Tipped away to the corner. Maloney has it there. Now Maloney back for Kissio. Rolled by him. Leiter just didn't clear it away. It hit Trottier in the skate. Here's Kissio. Saved by Smith. Now here's Maloney, and Smith tipped that away. A quick shot and a save. Comes out to the point, and Patrick's shot never got through. Maloney again. Off the boards for Kissio. In for Devlois. Greshner comes in. Great pressure by the Rangers. Sent it across. It was knocked down. Kissio rolled it out in front just beyond the reach of Maloney. And the Islanders fail to clear. Devlois shot just wide. Up Kissio. Throws a hit on Morrow. And the Islanders finally clear. Makela left it there now for Trottier. Off for Crom. He'll try it on the short side, and it deflects off of Van Beesbrook all the way across the Ranger zone. Boy, the crowd came to life with that Ranger pressure. Here's Greshner across the line, trying to push it in front. Bounces in front, and Smith makes another stop. And the Islanders able to clear. Now Gerald Diddick. He was checked. Here's Sear across the line. Paul Sear rolled it to the side of the net. Billy Smith had it, lost it. They rolled it in front of an open net, and nobody home for the Rangers as Derek King able to clear for the Islanders. Sear, boy, was he punched out there by Derek King. Both teams starting to hit now as this game really takes on playoff-like intensity. Up the left wing, King holds up, dumps it in front, and Van Beesbrook will be hit there by Passon, who was tied up by Sear, and that immediately brings players from both sides together.
You want to talk about being cornered. Passon here can't turn either left or right nor dead center without running into smack dab into a bunch of guys wearing blue. You know, when the Islanders leave the Rangers alone in their own end, the Rangers can do what they want. There's very little pressure by the Islanders when the Rangers are running all over the zone. A couple of times, Dave, it looked as if the Islanders are killing a penalty.
All right, here Marwelli is going to call some penalties, and the guys still don't want to count down. There aren't any what you would call heavyweights out there right now, so none of the gloves have come off. But Marwelli is going to send, I believe, one guy from each team to the penalty box.
Diddick just came roaring into the pack to push Michel Petit out of the way.
Looks like Ronstrand for the Rangers and Brent Sutter for the Islanders. As that Islander penalty box was getting pretty crowded.
Watch this race for the puck that Billy Smith loses to Walt Podupny, who has time to get up to his feet, and he just Hail Marys in front of the net. There's Derek King standing in front. He snaps up the pass and wheels up behind his net. Watch this hit along the board. This is Derek King again. But you know what happens there? Paul Sear left his feet, and I got to tell you, you're a sitting duck. Once you get up in the air, let's face it, you don't have much traction.
No score here, 13-18 remaining in the second period. Let's go back to Tom Means in our NHL Tonight studio.
All right, Dave Strader, Le Commissaire in Quebec City. This is Buffalo's Phil Housley closing in on right wing. Housley measuring Mario Gosselin, and watch the slow snap of the wrist and the bend in the stick. He beats Gosselin. It is 3-2. Buffalo on top in the second period late. Let's go back to Long Island.
Bill Housley, one of the players having a great year in the Wales Conference that will not be at the All-Star game. And there are some people that are upset about the length of Housley and Chelios from the Canadiens not being on the team.
It's tough.
Somebody's always, that's right. Somebody's always going to be disappointed.
Yeah.
Here's a mishandle by Smith. Comes in front, and it was fired wide. That was Sandstrom that had the chance for the Rangers. LaFontaine able to clear the zone for the Islanders. Kerr lost it there to Jan Eriksson. Eriksson shouldered off the puck. And the Islanders' Kerr, who has served his 5-minute major, sent it across. Shaw dumped it back up the boards. Here comes Kerr now, up against McIver. Kerr couldn't get the shot away. Good defensive play by McIver. Held in by Leiter. Bounced it in front, and it's cleared by Shaw down the ice. Sandstrom's onside, but the puck's out of his reach. Smith out of the net, sweeps it around. Leiter has it there. Sends it rink wide, looking for Kerr. Now nobody wants it center ice. Maloney comes up with it, sends it ahead just out of the reach of Kissio. Smith sweeps it up the boards. Trottier shouldered there by Maloney. Ken Leiter lost it there to Deblois, but Leiter able to poke it ahead now for Kerr. Alan Kerr lets go the shot. Bounced off a couple of Rangers. Kissio up the right wing side, and it's deflected into the Islander bench. 11:50 to go, second period, still scoreless.
Dodge Dakota 4x4. When you consider that it comes loaded with the best truck warranty on or off the road, more available payload than any competitive compact 4x4 in the country, and a fuel-injected V6 engine S10 and Ranger charge extra for, it's easy to see. Only one size 4x4 has it all. It's gotta be the mid-size Dodge Dakota.
Save up to $2,400 with cash back and prospector package discounts on selected trucks in stock.
We can update you now on the situation involving Ron Duguay. Apparently his arm went numb. He must have been hit somewhere where there was a nerve. And we'll see if we can pick it up on this replay. There's the swat by Brad Lauer. That's probably when it happened. I'm just guessing, mind you. He doesn't see how. He didn't get hit above the waist after the fact. And we should also tell you that the hit totals for Chris Nyland will not be as much as many as they were in the first period for the second period, since he is not on the bench. He is apparently having trouble with a knee brace in the Rangers locker room. As we get more news on that, we will pass it on to you.
Maloney sends it ahead for Kissio. Kissio tried to hold up, lost his balance now. Good poke check there by Billy Smith, the goaltender, to knock it away from Maloney. And Kreshner, who gave up the captaincy of this Ranger team earlier in the year when it became apparent, Bill, that he wasn't going to see that much ice time, and he and Michel Bergeron came to the agreement, hey, if I'm not going to be out there, no point wearing the C. Trottier fakes, now lets it go. And let's see now, the linesman Finn blowing the whistle.
He's calling a penalty, I believe.
There might be too many men on the ice.
And you bet it is. It's the Islanders. They got 6 as we speak. Dennis Potvin, he was pointing at. They still have 6. Henry, Sutter.
Well, Sutter
Trottier,
just came out of the penalty box.
Potvin and Makala.
Rangers penalty, a bench minor for too many men on the ice.
Oh, it was the Rangers.
Oh, it's the Rangers?
Well, maybe they had 7. They outnumbered them somehow.
We're having the most men on the ice.
8:49.
Not a very happy Michel Bergeron if Joe Patterson goes over to serve that.
Yeah. You know how that usually happens, Dave, is if there's a miscommunication on the bench and 2 players think they're replacing 1 player that's coming to the bench, or very often the player will wheel over to the bench that's supposed to be coming off, and he decides to loop back and go back into the play. There's Trottier's fake. Look at right in the dead center of your screen near the top is Ron Finn. By this time, he has counted up 6 Rangers and is whistling down the play, just as Brian Trottier is shooting it. But very often, one player wheels over to the bench and decides, I'm going back into play. Meanwhile, the player who's jumping on to replace him doesn't see that he turns back into action.
Let me ask you something. With Nyland in the dressing room and Duguay, that changes lines. Do guys get confused on which line they're on now? Because you got a couple of guys that are in the dressing room that normally would be out there.
Yeah, good point. That's a possibility.
So the Islanders, their second power play of the night. Rangers yet to get a man advantage. Islanders 0 for 1, of course, in this scoreless game. Good play by Eriksson to clear the zone. Boy, look at the slash there by Deblois. Pulled the stick right away from Janssen. And Janssen with a little clever trip on Deblois.
Deblois has to go off the ice. He fell about 3 minutes ago on another shift. He just fell again. I'm surprised he didn't get the edge taken care of on his skate. He obviously has a skate problem.
Janssen tried to pass it in front. Trottier. Now it comes back to Janssen. Lets it go. Deflected, and the save by Van Beesbroek. As you see, number 16, LaFontaine, in a familiar position. I don't mean on his back. I mean right in front of the net, where he's willing, as a little guy, to take a lot of abuse from the likes of Michel Petit.
Oh, I don't know. That's a pretty familiar position for Pat being on his back, because when you stand in front, very often you can only stand there for so long, and that's what happens on this one. He sets up a pretty decent screen to the far side, but the shot didn't come from Johnson to the far side. He shot it to the near side. Watch it from this angle. You see, he would have had to shoot it into the crowd, and very often if the defenseman has his head up, that's what he will do. He will shoot it into the crowd. A lot of times it'll just go off a skate, bounce in behind the goalie.
There's Ron Duguay. Apparently has the feeling back in that left arm. Never could figure out why they call that the funny bone. There's nothing funny about getting hit there, especially if the point of the stick got in there and caught him right on that nerve.
You know, it's similar to waking up in the morning having slipped on your arm or slipped on your leg. You know, you get out of bed and you only got one leg. You fall down. There. When you get hit on the ice, it hits sometimes the same nerve, only it accelerates that sleeping process, and you got no feeling at all in your arm. Sometimes it's your leg.
James Patrick clears it up the boards. Steer took a swipe at him, flatly held it in. Minute 10 left in this Islander power play, but it is driven up the boards by Greshner and down the ice. Then it's Potvin chasing it down. Duguay took Potvin into the end board. Here comes Johnson. His pass right on the stick of Greshner, who sends it the other way. You know, we got a lot of noise in this building tonight. It's not all Islander fans, a lot of the gallery guys that sit up there on the 9th level of Madison Square Garden, and they can be as nasty as any fans in the league and as noisy. Here's a chance right in front for Potvin and Van Beesbroek. Sent it to the corner. Rangers fail to clear. Derek King got it there for Sutter. Half a minute left in the power play. Flatley back to Sutter. It's tied up in his skates, and it's poked to the corner board. Now King back to get it. Sends it to Flatley, and he gave it right away there to Deblois, and it's sent down the ice. Thomas Johnson sends it ahead now. Trottier on the move with LaFontaine and Derek King. King with a shot, bounces. Van Beesbroek the save, and a rebound was stopped. In front for Potvin, and it's cleared out of there by James Patrick. Penalty has expired. The bench minor being served by Patterson. Lead pass off the stick of Sandstrom. He would have walked right in. Patterson, though, holds it in for the Rangers. Joe Patterson circles the net. Sends it out to James Patrick now for Gronstrand. Lets it go, and it pinballs across the Islanders zone. A penalty coming up to the Islanders, and as Makela controls, the Rangers will get their first power play. 8:48 to go, second period, no score.
Being 7 feet 2 has its disadvantages. Like I've got the biggest stomach on the team. When I get hungry, you can hear my stomach growling in the next area code. And when that happens, I pick up some Campbell's Chunky.
Nothing takes care of a mean appetite like the hearty chunks of beef and garden vegetables in Campbell's Chunky Beef Soup.
I look for 2 things in the kitchen. Chunky and high ceilings.
Campbell's Chunky. It takes care of the meanest appetites.
It really took the Islanders most of their 2 minutes on the power play to generate any offense, but right near the end of it, they came close. Derek King got it through. Went for his own rebound. Brian Trottier ended up with another rebound. Finally, the Rangers were able to scoop it out of harm's way, but it took them most of 2 minutes to get involved there. Here's their time in the attack zone. 1:08, 50%. That's adequate. 3 shots isn't bad either. That's about the cutoff point. You want to at least have three shots on goal to be effective on the power play.
First Ranger power play. They rank 4th in the NHL, largely because of that man, Marcel Dion, and he scores! have hit Billy Smith on the backside somewhere.
I don't know where he was going, Dave. There was nobody blue in front of Billy Smith. He came out to cut that elevated pass from Marcel Dion. It hit somebody in front. Boy, you'll take him any way you can get him. Shaw just dumps it in. Sandstrom shovels to Dion. Watch the left of your screen. It wasn't Bill Smith that it went off. It went off of Ken Morrow's pants. And Karam directly in behind Smith.
Number 714 in his career, his 21st this season. And you see that number 16 on his jersey. That's how many power play goals he has out of the 21 that he has scored. And it's 1-0 Rangers on the power play goal by the midget, Marcel Dion. Here's Kissio now for the Rangers.
Number 21, David Shaw.
Sandstrom and Shaw got the assist.
Beyond 21st
on the Dion goal.
Shaw, power play goal on 11-21.
Now across the line, Henry. He was poke checked and it came outside the zone, and Makula brought it in. Offside. I think those are the kind of breaks, though, that great goal scorers get.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't happen to a guy like Rich Crom, who hasn't scored since November 19th. But that's part of the picture when you're an offensive threat at all times. And, you know, people react to you a little differently, too, Dave, when you have the puck. Marcel Dion has been such an important part of the Rangers' power play. As you mentioned, 16 power play goals. And when he hasn't been in the lineup, they really have struggled power play-wise. And one more look at Marcel Dion's routine pass in front. I don't even know if anybody was in behind Morrow. We're trying to wonder what would have happened had the puck not hit Morrow. It just would have gone to the other corner.
Well, we've got Sutter and Podubny. They've had some verbal exchanges, and now they're trying to get a little bit more acquainted. Gerald Diddick and Joe Patterson. Here they go. They said, "You want to go?" And they said, "Yeah." Uh-oh. Patterson trying to lean right in with that left hand. Diddick can throw him pretty good. Now Patterson switched to the right hand, and the Ranger fans.
But you know what, Dave? From here, it looked like Patterson took an awful punch to the face just when they went down, when Diddick landed on his back. And that's what you end up with when you have a right-hander against a left-hander, two jackhammers throwing. When one guy gets the first good one in, the other guy doesn't seem to land as much. And as soon as the advantage switches from one to the other, boy, I can almost see swelling on Patterson's left eye from here. Yeah, check the blood.
Well, Patterson was battered up from a couple of fights that he had earlier in his first couple of games with the Rangers, but a big confrontation there between Patterson and Diddick. They'll try to settle it down with that man's team. Michel Bergeron's Rangers lead it 1-0. Back in a moment.
Dodge Daytona. When you look at its impressive styling, its long list of standard features, its 770 protection plan, when you consider the fact that Daytona is $346 less than the Ford Mustang LX hatchback, we think you'll agree. When it comes to the right price and performance, it's gotta be a Dodge. The Dodge Daytona, just $89.95.
It's gotta be a Dodge.
Other games in progress in the NHL tonight. Buffalo 3, Quebec 2 after 2 periods. And Dave Hunter has just scored for Pittsburgh. The Penguins now lead Washington. That should be 2-0 in favor of Pittsburgh. Hunter broke in over the blue line and put it between the pads of Pete Peters. Let's go back to Long Island where the Rangers lead at 1-0.
Time of all penalties, 12 minutes. That's Podubny of the Rangers, Sutter of the Islanders.
Here's what started it all. This turned out to be minor when you compare it to what ended up happening between Joe Patterson and Gerald Diddick. Here they are squaring off. See, Patterson's a lefty. Diddick ends up getting a real good hold, and then they went toe-to-toe. And Diddick from here definitely threw the longer, straighter punches. I think he had Joe Patterson off balance when the word go, and then he corked him with a big one just as they went down.
The So Patterson and Diddick each got 5. Sutter and Podubny each got 2. Let's go back to Tom Mees in our NHL Tonight studio.
All right, Dave, thanks. I mentioned that goal by Dave Hunter. Look at this errant pass in the Washington zone. Hunter picks it off and scores as Pete Peters left a lot of room between the pads. They're going crazy at the Igloo. The Penguins lead it 2-0. Let's go back to Long Island, Dave.
All right, as we mentioned, the offsetting penalties, and Patterson and Diddick each with 5 minutes. Sutter and Podubny, they were the ones that started it off with the offsetting minors. And so at the 12-minute mark, each team loses 2 players. But they'll be substituted for immediately. Both teams at full strength.
You know, you have to win the odd fight to be of any value as an enforcer. And Joe Patterson came in with his face marked up. He certainly is game, and he's got a lot of courage to wade in there time and time again. But he's going to have to start weighing the odds when he gets into, fight after fight out there. It gets old real quick to continue to get beat in a fight.
Now the Islanders in doing some forechecking. LaFontaine dug it out in front, hit the skate of Kronstrand, went to the corner. Now behind the net. Here's Crom trying to dig it out in front. LaFontaine scoops it up. He's checked by Dion. The 2 16s spin each other around. Now Conroy and LaFontaine in there deep. Here's a pass for Kerr. Loose puck, and he fired it across the goal mouth. Conroy again. He doesn't have a helmet now. Now Gilbert. Watch your sticks! You could hear the referee Marwelli saying, watch the sticks, and we get a quick whistle now along the boards. His tempers have been short here of late. Gilbert brought his knee up there. Now the Ranger player, Jari Gronstrand. LaFontaine and Sandstrom had a hold of each other, but they're quickly separated. Rangers with the 1-0 lead on the power play goal by Marcel Dion. Tempers have been short here between these two rivals. I don't know if the referee Marwelli, yes, it looks like he's going to take one player from each team. Well, don't forget, 1 week from tonight here on ESPN at the arena in St. Louis, we'll have the All-Star game. The best from the Wales against the best from the Campbell Conference. 39th annual NHL All-Star game, and I was in St. Louis about a month ago, and already they had been making a lot of plans to make that quite a spectacle and showcase. Of course, it is for the stars of the NHL. Well, the penalties coming here, looks like Gilbert and Petit go to the box.
Rangers penalty number 24, Michel Petit. Islanders penalty number 7, Greg Gilbert. 2 minutes each for unsportsmanlike conduct. Time of the penalties, 12:54.
Well, as the penalties are sorted out and more are amassed here, more people going to the dressing room with Nyland not coming back, with Joe Patterson there. You know that Michel Bergeron on the left, the Rangers coach, and the man that was on the right, Terry Simpson, the Islanders have to juggle like guys you see in the circus. Now Simpson has Diddick in, Gilbert in the penalty box, and his captain, Brent Sutter. Joe Patterson is in the locker room getting repaired, hopefully. Michel Petit is in the box for the Rangers. Nyland is having his knee brace taken care of.
Face off here to the left of the Ranger net. And Beesbrook has stopped all 18 Islander shots that he has faced. The Rangers with just 4 shots in the first 7 here in the second. Is that play offside?
Well, we had talked about injuries earlier. The thing that reminded me of the injuries is the fact that coaches now are short of men on the bench. The Islanders all season have been without Mike Bossy, and what a void that has been for them to fill. There's a look at the penalties for tonight.
Well above their season averages
for
the full game.
Yeah. John O'Grodnik is not in uniform for the Rangers tonight. Nor is Brian Mullen. Pierre LaRouche. The Rangers actually have 3 ex-50 goal scorers on their roster. 2 of them aren't in uniform tonight. That's O'Grodnik and Pierre LaRouche. Marcel Dion is in uniform tonight.
There's a lot of offense to have out of the lineup. The Rangers trying to stay in the thick of the Patrick Division playoff race until they can get all those players back. Now Shaw will try one in on Billy Smith, who steered that aside. Islanders' Ken Morrow has it. He'll clear it out himself. Center ice now for Crom across the line. Let's go. The shot blocked by James Patrick. And that's up over the glass out of play. That is Bob Ben, who fell down there a few moments ago and probably hearing it as he goes back to the bench, I'm sure. Not the way an all-star is supposed to skate, Denny.
Well, if he was in his rookie year, he probably wouldn't be able to laugh it off, but he's far from that. Here it is. A little pirouette. Oh, we have to take a couple of points away on the score. We only give him a 7.8.
That wouldn't look very good in Calgary at the Olympics either. Figure skating move there. Denny Potvin. Now James Patrick tried to thread it ahead. It was off the stick of Janssen. Now Billy Smith sweeps it off the board. Maloney moves in for the Rangers. Has it in the corner. He saw Trottier coming. Now Trottier knocks it away up the boards. Maloney got it to Duguay. Back for Kissio. He is shouldered off the puck. Maloney and Trottier again battling behind the Islander net. Maloney continues to work the boards as he does so well. Now he backhanded it toward the front of the net. Kissio tried to feed it out to James Patrick. It was blocked. It comes to Patrick. Lets it go up high, and Smith able to handle that one.
Boy, what a one-man forechecking display.
5:39 remaining here in the second period, and the Rangers on a power play goal lead it 1-0.
Dodge Dakota 4x4. When you consider that it comes loaded with the best truck warranty on or off the road, more available payload than any competitive compact 4x4 in the country, and a fuel-injected V6 engine S10 and Ranger charge extra for, it's easy to see. Only one size 4x4 has it all. It's gotta be the mid-size Dodge Dakota.
Save up to $2,400 with cash back and prospector package discounts on selected trucks in stock.
In Pittsburgh, they say goaltending could be the Achilles heel of the Penguins, but look at this save by Frank Pietrangelo. Larry Murphy of the Capitals walks right in, has Pietrangelo measured for the backhand, but Pietrangelo gets his stick on it. He's pitching a shutout in Pittsburgh. Let's go back to the Islanders.
Alan Kerr with a couple of chances there, and Van Beesbrook. Much like Pietrangelo in Pittsburgh, preserving the shutout here for the Rangers. They lead it 1-0. Morrow sends it ahead now for Ken Leiter. Across for Kerr. Kerr sends it for LaFontaine, who couldn't corral the pass, and the puck sent down the ice by Shaw, recovered by Kerr. He'll bring it right back in across the Ranger line. Good hip check there by Gronstrom, and it goes to LaFontaine, trying to get it back to Kerr. Now the puck comes loose, and LaFontaine lost his balance there, but he's able to disrupt Erickson. Now poked away by Gronstrom. Johnson had it. He lost it. Derek King comes up with a loose puck. King looking across the zone, sends it out. Johnson with a chance, fired it wide to LaFontaine. And the puck comes back outside as the Islanders try to get regrouped. LaFontaine was right in front of Van Beesbrook.
Ever the scorer, though, he had lost his stick.
Oh, and right there he hits the post as he did get the stick back. Now LaFontaine beats Potvin, and that shot was blocked by the defense, and the Rangers slide it toward the line, but not out of there. Now Van Beesbrook leaves it there, and Gronstrom will just drive it up the board, and Erickson able to help it out.
Yeah, LaFontaine had lost his stick, Dave, and rather than going to retrieve it, he took up his spot in front of the net, maybe for a deflection, for a screen.
Here comes Henry with a chance, but he was checked just before he delivered the shot. Now Trottier. Checked by Dahlen. Makela circles the net. He picks up the loose puck. Makela tried to beat it to Morrow, and a good defensive play there by number 22, Sear, and he sends it down the ice, and an icing call here against the Rangers. Down to 3.5 left in the second period. Marcel Dion power play goal holding up for the Rangers.
We go above and beyond just like you, above and beyond what we have to do.
I'm a Prudential representative, and I help people review their life insurance needs because I know how much the right life insurance means to me and my family.
You take pride in your life, so do we. Going above and beyond is our policy. The Rock, the Prudential above and beyond.
the Islanders captain, Brent Sutter. Boy, they really skidded when he was out of the lineup, too. They went 2-7-2. And I guess a lot of people thought that he'd just be able to snap the Islanders back. Well, it hasn't happened quite as quickly as people thought when he got back into the lineup. Their problems had been pretty deep-rooted.
He missed those games with a fracture in his thumb. As it comes tomorrow, deflected just wide. There was LaFontaine again looking for a deflection. Here's Sutter now. LaFontaine pulled down in front of the net by Patrick. Gets back up. Here's Derek King. Islanders with all the pressure here. Pass now in front. Sutter. And the Ranger player without a stick is Greshner. Oh, and he's going to call it. Marwelli. I believe he's going to say that Greshner closed his hand on the puck.
That delay of game, and it's a good call, too. There's no question Ron Greshner closed his hand on the puck. He was waiting for somebody to throw it to. Greshner was trying to make a good play by moving it with his hand to one of his teammates to get a stoppage of play because Greshner had no stick. But he held his hand on the puck a little too long and then just grabbed it and tried to move. There was Greshner's stick just going out of the frame. Here he is behind the net. Now he's closed his hand. Watch. Oh, little shuffleboard there.
Greshner of the Rangers, 2 minutes for closing his hand on the puck at 16:50.
He could have at least played tic-tac-toe with it back and forth from one hand to the other, but there's Marwelli was about 15 feet away, unscreened as well. Here's the chance from LaFontaine that goes right off the post to John Van Beesbroek's right. Bing.
So what that means is the Islanders have their second power play opportunity of this second period. Their third overall in the hockey game. They trail 1-0. The Rangers have their goal on their only power play. They'll be looking for that man, LaFontaine. And boy, does he not only scores a lot of goals, but he scores so many big goals. And the last 5 game winners for the Islanders down the stretch last year. Here comes the pop man. Lets it go. Van Beesbroek had it and lost it, but the whistle is blown.
What a picture of concentration. There's LaFontaine getting up off the ice. He was shoveled down to the ice and still was looking up, watching the puck all the way in, trying to get a deflection on Van Beesbroek. He may have even knocked the puck out of his hands afterwards. Face off when the power play goes all the way back to Dennis Potvin. See if we can pick up LaFontaine, who will be in front. There he is. See him down, trying to cause a deflection.
Erickson for the Rangers able to clear. Potvin back to get it. Sends it across for LaFontaine, number 16. Now for Makela. Makela across the line. Moves it to the boards for LaFontaine. In deep for Trottier. He is checked. LaFontaine picks up the puck, drops it for Makela, back to the point for Potvin, across for Janssen. Janssen takes a look, and his pass hit Erickson in the skate, and bounces back center ice. Here comes Potvin with a shot that's blocked up about 20 rows behind John Van Beesbroek.
Boy, he's logged his share of ice time tonight, hasn't he? This will be Dennis Potvin's last year in the National Hockey League, unless he changes his mind. But I think he's a man that makes a decision and sticks to it. There is David Shaw, who was an ex-Quebec Nordique. And you know that Michel Bergeron had to have something to do with that trade as well. It brought Shaw to the New York Rangers. Here's Potvin crossing the line. The deflection that never ends up as any kind of a problem for John Van Beesbroek because it sailed right over the end glass.
Minute 13 left in the Greshner penalty for the delay of game. Just over 2 minutes left here in the second period. Leiter gets it to Makela. Makela takes a look, shoots and scores! Power play goal. And we're tied at 1.
Goal number 27, and they're not lucky goals. When Mingo Makela gets a chance, he knows what he's doing. He fakes the pass right there and moves around to a real dangerous spot to shoot from. You want to talk about a defensive mistake? Leaving your feet when you're down a man and ending up completely horizontal on the ice. Here it comes right here. That's Gronstrand that goes down. Well, Makela just takes one little shuffle step to the left and rifles it up high near the shoulder of John Van Beesbroek. And we're tied at 1.
Makela likes to play against the rival Rangers. You see what he did last year. with 9 points, better than a point a game. As Phil said, 27th of the season, and his 12th power play goal, which ties him for the club lead with who else but LaFontaine. The two defensemen, Leiter and Janssen, drew the assist. Here's Erickson, slides one in. Billy Smith made the save. Less than 2 minutes remaining now in the period. Rangers with some pressure. Here's Shaw. That was blocked, comes back now. Sandstrom fired it just wide. And Rich Crom slides it out center ice for Alan Kerr. Ahead now for Bassett. Backhand! And Van Beesbrook able to stop that one. It stays 1-1 with that save. Let's go back to Tom East for an NHL Tonight update. Tom?
All right, Dave, thanks very much. In the Adams division, Buffalo and Quebec. Sabres fighting for possession in the corner. Coming up with it and knocking in his second goal tonight is Phil Housley, his 24th of the year. It's Buffalo leading this game now 4-2. Buffalo 4, Quebec 2 in the third period.
You know, Dave, when I'm looking back at that goal, it was Jari Granstrand that ended up lying down onto the ice to try and block the shot. Both Finnish players, Granstrand and Mäkelä, are both from Finland. I don't know if Granstrand thought he knew something about Mäkelä, but we didn't. But I've seen Mäkelä enough in the last couple of years to know that you don't leave your feet. And I know that Michel Bergeron is going to end up talking to Jari Granstrand either before the night's over or after the game.
Dennis Potvin out there with Gerald Diddick with his bloody jersey after his altercation with Joe Patterson. Now Brent Sutter drives it in wide of Van Beesbrook. Islanders had a lot of pressure going here in the second period before they got the power play goal to tie it. Let's see how they react now. Here's King with a chance. Lets it go just wide of Van Beesbrook, who was out to cut the angle. Diddick's pass cut off by Podubny. Now here's Greshner. Slides it up the boards. Diddick unable to hold that in. Drops it back now for Conroy. Sends it around behind Van Beesbrook all the way up to center ice. It's taken by Sear. Trying to catch the Islanders on a line change, but they got back. 45 seconds left in the period. 1-1 our score. And here come the Islanders, led by Janssen across the line. Flips it into the left of Van Beesbrook. Cleared by Granstrand up the boards. Maloney off for Kissio. Conroy takes him down. Greg Gilbert tries to dig the puck out from underneath the two fallen players. And then it comes to Maloney, but the Rangers were offside. Once again here on ESPN, not only the best as far as players, but a lot of technical aspects going into the coverage here on ESPN of that All-Star game.
Only 13 cameras. And I say that facetiously. We will have 13 cameras. I don't know if there have ever been 13 cameras covering a hockey game. One telestrator. We'll have 2 super slow-mos in action on Tuesday, February the 9th out of St. Louis for the All-Star game.
Here's Trottier, sends it across now for Mäkelä, who tied this game moments ago. Trying to go wide on Petit, who played him well. Van Beesbrook to Duguay, played it up the middle. Morrow knocked it down. It goes back in behind Van Beesbrook. Able to get it by Mäkelä. Held in by Morrow. Van Beesbrook makes the save. He holds on with 2 seconds left as Petit takes Dale Henry into the boards behind the Ranger net. Bill, you and I were talking, about 10 years ago, how intense this rivalry was. They compared it, of course, now to the Quebec-Montreal rivalry, Calgary and Edmonton. And then when the Islanders won all those cups, that kind of coincided with the Rangers falling off the National Hockey League, kind of killed the rivalry. But now because of the standings, these games mean so much to both teams. Maybe it'll bring back that intensity.
Yeah, I think it will. It's difficult to have a rivalry when one team is at the top of the standings and the other team is close to the bottom, and that's been the case with the Islanders and Rangers over the last 6 or 7 years. The Islanders have been way up in the standings. And there goes Billy Smith, and he's not going for a drink of water. We're down to 2 seconds to go. He's going to get pulled, and Terry Simpson is going to put an extra attacker. The deal obviously being that the New York Rangers, in Terry Simpson's mind, can't get the puck down into the vacated goal quickly enough here with only 2 seconds to go. So The Islanders will either try. Sutter's got two options here, Dave. He can either go right to the net with it or pull it back for a shot. 2 seconds is enough time to get a quick shot away. He tried to go back with it. He missed it.
Debelois tied him up. It goes to the corner. So each team getting a power play goal. Dion, his 21st. Makela, his 27th. And very evenly played game, really.
It was, but if there was a tide that turned, it turned after the Patterson-Diddick fight. When you send your gunslinger out there and he ends up tangling with a big boy on the other team and it doesn't go so well, that is as big a momentum shifter in hockey as anything.
So our score, 1-1 between these two rivals here at the Nassau County Coliseum, and we'll be back with more NHL coverage in just a moment.
Okay, pal, this is where we start.
This bud's for all that you do.
This is where we start? Papers say you busted it up pretty good.
Too fancy for you, huh?
You got a long road back. You miss the cheers. One more. Can you beat those doubts and fears?
Ready? Not today. Don't you mean never?
Make America work.
Well, that's something that won't let us quit. The clean, crisp taste of Beechwood aged Budweiser.
To your first game back. Thanks, buddy.
This bud's for you.
Yeah, just what I suspected. Got a bad power pump on 18th. All right, Dave. So don't worry, we'll get you fixed up. It's our anniversary, Houston. You call my wife.
We'll go right to rig 4 first, Dave?
Yeah. First thing I gotta do is get the drill bit out of that hole, pull up all the pipe, then we can see what's in there.
Sure, I'm glad you're here, Dave.
Al, you know I'm on United, flight 170 coming home. Osaka.
We are very happy.
When you spend your life making things go smoothly for others,
Thank you, Dave.
the least your airline can do is make things go smoothly for you. United, rededicated to giving you the service you deserve.
Oh, it's my son's birthday, remember? Mm-hmm. Promise you won't call me.
Come fly the friendly skies.
Hey, Dave, thanks for coming down.
Sure, no problem.
Well, welcome back to our NHL Tonight studios, everyone. I'm Tom Mees. What a great game we have after 2 periods at the Nassau Coliseum, tied at 1. And a very good game tonight at Le Coliseum in Quebec City. The Nordiques and the Buffalo Sabres, after Quebec closed within 4-3 just moments ago, watch the persistence of Dave Andreychuk, number 25 in blue and gold for the Buffalo Sabres. Finally gets the puck away from Paul Gillis and takes a snap drive to beat Mario Gosselin on the power play. It's Buffalo 5, Quebec 3. Let's go live now to Le Coliseum in Quebec City. Ted Darling and Mike Robitaille there to describe the action. Sabres leading at 5-3 in the third.
Out it goes to Donnelly, and he'll send it right back to Barrasso. Donnelly. He's puck at center. Housley at his own blue line. Anton Stastny. Inside the line, Housley works it through to Mikael Anderson. To the Quebec line. There's the shot. But it was blocked by Finn. Anderson along the boards. Falls down, still trying to keep it in. Peter Stastny. Here's Housley coming up on the play to keep it in for Buffalo. Kicked at it. Now they break back. Peter Stastny. One man back. Ruff over to his brother Anton. Shooting, and Barrasso makes the save. Housley comes away with it. Here's the pass to Ruutu. At center. Now with Kalle Johansson. Takes the shot. Tried to get in. Ruutu looks. Sends it in front now to Housley. He could not get it. It's Anton Stastny to the line with his brother Peter trailing. He gives it to him. Housley. Oh, the net has been knocked off.
Well, a stoppage of play at Le Coliseum, Quebec City. It was Normand Rochefort a few moments ago making it 4-3. That was the mix-up I had in the score. It was 4-2. The Rochefort scored to make it 4-3 on an assist from Peter Stastny. And then, of course, it was Andreychuk scoring to make it 5-3. One other game in progress at the Civic Arena in Pittsburgh. The Penguins and the Washington Capitals. Pittsburgh leads it by a score of 2-0. That is now late in the third period of play. Our score after 2 periods on Long Island. It's the Islanders 1 and the Rangers 1 in the NHL Tonight on ESPN. Back in a moment.
campaign appearances, speeches, rallies, the Iowa caucuses. Watch C-SPAN February 1st through the 8th for complete coverage of the Iowa caucuses. C-SPAN gives you an in-depth view of grassroots American politics. The Iowa caucuses, part of our Election 88 coverage on C-SPAN.
This is Julie, one of more than 7 million children who come home after school to an empty house. It's an independent feeling, but a scary one too. What would happen if there was a fire? Or if she had an accident and no one heard her call for help? Or what if someone tried to break in? With Cable Guard, your family is protected at substantial savings over conventional security systems. Cable Guard, committed to your protection.
You give your all to all you do. Don't settle for less from your shampoo. Wash and go Pert Plus.
Ordinary shampoo can't give you this kind of manageability. You need Pert Plus, with a unique combination of effective shampoo for cleaning, plus conditioner for control, all in one. For great, easy-to-manage hair, it's one of a kind.
Just one shampoo does it all for you. Wash and go.
With shampoo, conditioner in one.
Pert Plus.
Leap Year delivers an extra day of sports excitement on ESPN. The NFL Pro Bowl and NHL All-Star Games bring out over 100 of your favorite stars in the roles that made them famous. February means ESPN SportsCenter's special live reports from the Winter Olympics in Calgary. Plus, George Foreman continues his quest for another heavyweight crown. And college basketball rolls on toward tournament time. All live in February on ESPN.
Back live at the Nassau County Coliseum. We played 2 periods of hockey here. We were scoreless at the end of the first, each team getting a power play goal in the second period, and it's 1-1. Dave Strader back along with Bill Clement. And Bill, let's get right to our game keys for the first 40 minutes of hockey here and see what they tell us about this tie hockey game.
Well, I think they're going to tell us that this score should be tied 1-1, which it is. Power plays, the story. Rangers 1 for 1, Islanders 1 for 3. The hits have pretty well evened out. Chris Nyland and Joe Patterson only combined that period, however, for 1 hit. Nyland did not hit the ice, didn't even hit the bench. Power breaks, that's the same as they were after 1. The total shots, well, the shots were 12-11 for the Islanders that period, so it's 23-15 total. Quality shots, the Islanders have been able to generate 8, and the Rangers 5. All in all, pretty even game.
Let's take a closer look now at the power plays. First for the New York Islanders.
Well, they've had a pretty good night of it. 1 for 3 is their total. And they've been over 50% in the attack zone, which is good. Shots are good. That's a good total of 7. Quality shots 3. That's pretty solid as well. So if you look at their power play panel, you'd have to say the New York Islanders power play is working. But we're going to show you the New York Rangers power play and show you just how effective it was. Look at this. It only took them 9 seconds to score on the 1 power play they had. 1 shot on goal, and I'm not even sure that was Marcel Dion's shot because that was a carom off of Kenny Morrow's pants. But power plays, I think, now in the third period will decide.
1-1 is our score here. Let's go back to Tom Ease in our NHL Tonight studios. Tom?
Thank you very much, Dave Strader and Bill Clement. Just got word from Pittsburgh that the Washington Capitals are on the board late in the third period of play. It is now Pittsburgh 2 and Washington 1. Here's how the Caps finally dented the net. This is Scott Stevens with a shot. Ivan Corvo cruising to the left of Frank Pietrangelo. Gets just enough wood on the puck to send it over the red line. And our score is now 2-1 with less than 4 minutes to play. So without further ado, let's go live now to the Civic Arena in Pittsburgh. And we have Mike Fornes and Al Koken there to describe the action. Gentlemen.
Larry Murphy. Left side for Scott Stevens. Right wing pass to Gartner. Gartner's across the line. Jim Johnson's all over him. The puck cleared to the point. Murphy keeps it in. Fakes. Now fires, and it's up high off the glass. Chased by Stevens. Into the corner. He centers it. Corvo tries to get another shot off. Oh, and Stevens bats it just wide with a backhander. Out come the Penguins. Dan Quinn to center. Throws it into the Washington zone. Penguins change up on the fly. Now the Capitals do as well. Here comes Scott Stevens. Throws to center. Coffey takes it back at the Pittsburgh line. 1.5 minutes to play. Peters will soon be leaving the net in favor of a 6th attacker. Here's Villasiren into the Washington zone. The Capitals' Scott Stevens to the point. Callender keeps it in. Lemieux puts it behind the goal. Hatcher into the corner. minute 10 to play. Hatcher up the boards for Franceschetti and takes a backward hop off the corner boards that are uneven. And here's Christian to the blue line. We're in the final minute of play in the third period. Peters heads to the bench. Here's Coffey, bumped to the backboards. The Caps have a sixth attacker out there. Hatcher with it behind the goal. Hatcher checked by Siren in the corner. Coffey tries to play it. Hunter jammed up behind the goal. Siren is held. Now here's Pavanka out front. A wrist shot and a goal! The game is tied. Perfect positioning as Michael Pavanka looks over on the right wing side and finds Dave Christian. And Christian snaps it into the net. 2-2 the score.
There you see the final blow, and look, Christian this time does take his time and smartly. He didn't have anywhere to shoot at first because Peter Angelo had come over there. But he finally got Peter Angelo to open up those legs a bit, and it was a perfect pass from Gardner. But what work done at the back of the net by Hunter, by Hatcher. Franceschetti back there. Now watch Pavanka, number 20. He steams over there. And before anybody comes down on him, he's got room to maneuver. One of the Penguins dives down and nobody's out there. You see how Peter Angelo comes out, and it's that...
So it is the goal by Christian from Michael Pavanka and Lou Franceschetti. It is 2-2 in Pittsburgh. That's in the Wacky Patrick division. That's the Prudential scoreboard. Back with more in a moment.
Picture your business in a complex surrounded by some very established neighbors. Picture your business in a complex with hassle-free parking in a heavily traveled area at the corner of Powerline and Sample Roads, just seconds from I-95, the Turnpike, and Sawgrass Expressway. Picture your business at the crossroads. Come join our family. Call 979-6730 for information.
A night of excitement and a real good time. Roller Skating Center of Coral Springs has something for everyone. Visit our skate store stocked with the best in skates and accessories. Or rent your skates from our large selection. Our snack bar is perfect when you're ready for a refreshing break. With the latest in video games, you'll never run out of things to do. Roller Skating Center of Coral Springs, 2100 University Drive.
On his defenseman to keep the net clear and give him a good view of the puck. That's team hockey. I'm Lou Nanny, and 400,000 Americans with retinitis pigmentosa, RP, also get help from a team. The RP Foundation Fighting Blindness. They're researching for the cause, treatment, and prevention of this hereditary eye disease. We are counting on the RP team because saving sight is one of the greatest saves you can make. For more information, call 1-800-638-2300.
Let's take another look now at the Prudential scoreboard on the NHL tonight. I'm Tom Mees in the studio. Before we go back to Long Island for a great third period, it looks like, between the Rangers and Islanders. Buffalo still leading now over the Quebec Nordiques. Late in the third period of play, Sabres looking to cement their spot in third in the Adams division. In Pittsburgh, they're now going into overtime. Washington getting 2 goals in the last 4 minutes of play by Corvo and Dave Christian. As you just saw in the NHL tonight, they're now getting set to go into overtime. In about a half hour from now, the LA Kings Vancouver Canucks, very important game in the Smythe division. The Kings now in a 2-point lead over Vancouver for the last playoff spot in that division coming into tonight's action. And our score after 2 periods on Long Island, the Rangers won, the Islanders won. The NHL tonight with the third period of play in just 1 moment.
We go above and beyond just like you, above and beyond what we have to do, caring for what's special to you.
I'm a Prudential representative, and what's really important to me when I go into someone's home is to help them save money on their homeowner's insurance, because I know I'm a homeowner too.
Taking care to protect what's important to you, the Rock, the Prudential, above and beyond.
Folks need a little help?
And how will you be paying for that?
American Express.
If you stop by our Minneapolis office tomorrow, you can pick up a new card.
I'm having some trouble checking into this hotel.
I can take care of it. Let me just talk to the hotel manager.
Thank you.
Okay.
A friendly voice in the middle of the night. Membership has its privileges.
Blue. Labatt's Blue.
Evening is nice.
Blue Heaven.
I hurry to my
Smooth.
Clean. Crisp.
Labatt's Blue.
turn to the right.
Imported beer from Canada.
We'll lead you to my
Labatt's Blue. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Doors.
I love the wiser folk, just look and see. It's a doorknob, it's a deadbolt, it's extra security. No new hole to drill, so easy to install. Replace your old knob with wiser bolt, baby, it won't hurt at all.
A Wiser Bolt. It's a doorknob and a deadbolt, all in one. It's the lock the Doors love. For the nearest Ace Hardware store with Wiser Bolt, call 1-800-458-LOCK.
The NHL tonight is brought to you by McDonald's. It's a good time for the great taste of McDonald's. By Good News Plus with the Lubra Smooth Strip for extra smoothness and comfort only from Gillette. And by Allstate. For home, auto, and life insurance, you're in good hands with Allstate. You're also in good hands with Dave Strader and Bill Clement. Let's go back to Long Island for period number 3, the Rangers and the Islanders.
Thank you, Tom. Third period just underway. 1-1 our score. Joe Patterson indeed back out on the bench for the Rangers. We'll take a look at what condition he's in after that altercation with Gerald Diddick, who has the puck at the right point. Now a chance for Kerr, slid off of his stick. Now Patrick up the board. Sear tipped it ahead out center ice. Here's Sandstrom. Sent it off for Deblois. Lets it go. It was blocked by Potvin. Potvin run into there by Sandstrom, but it's out of the stick of Diddick. Up the right wing side for Alan Kerr. Kerr, number 10. Sent it ahead looking for LaFontaine. Now back to Kerr across the line. Taken down there by Michel Petit. Gronstrand intercepts the centering pass. Got it back from Ulf Dahlen. And it's out to center ice. Dahlen, number 9, across the line. Fakes the shot. Now moves in. Takes it in behind Smith. Taken off the play by Morrow. And now Derek King slides it ahead for LaFontaine. Back for Leiter. Ken Leiter across the line. Gets away from Petit. Dumps it out in the slot. Here's a chance for Sutter. Van Beesbrook the save. The puck underneath the Ranger player. He better move the puck. Marwelli has already called one delay of game. But this one he's going to let go. We're early in the third, still tied 1-1. Let's go back to Tom Mees for an NHL Tonight update.
All right, Dave, rather interesting non-call there by Marwelli. But meanwhile, they're in overtime in Pittsburgh. Capitals and Penguins tied at 2. Let's rejoin Mike Florence and Al Koken with the call, the action.
Brother Dave Hunter of the Penguins, and the puck cleared all the way down. This will be icing against Washington. Rogers back to get it. The whistle blows. Play is stopped. The thing about a play like that, Al, in overtime, you always fear those face-offs in your own zone. You never know what's going to happen. Somebody could score a goal right off the face-off, or that quick setup. It means so much. It calls for a lot more strategy. You've got to face off the puck right in your own end.
And particularly on the road, Mike, because the home coach has the last line change. He can get out.
Well, we'll be keeping an eye on that game between the Capitals and Penguins, but not to miss any action. Let's go back to Long Island. Play back underway. Rangers-Islanders tied at 1. Here's Dave Strader.
And here come the Rangers. Now Duguay, who just had a shot stopped, tries to get it to Kissio. Kissio in the corner. Drops it back in behind Phil Smith, who decided to leave it there for Leiter. Leiter backhanded it to the corner. Kissio knocks it down. Here's Maloney working those boards again. Duguay and Makela collide. Now the puck flipped up the boards. It'll be held in by McIver. Sends it back now for Kissio. Morrow ties him up, takes him down. The puck's still there. Duguay has it. Shouldered into the boards there by Makela. Duguay trying to get loose, and Makela's going to get a penalty. A holding call, and Makela's not going to like that very much.
I can't believe he called it.
Well, indeed, the Rangers will get the power play opportunity early in the third. We are tied at 1.
We're gonna bring on the beef, spread on the cheddar.
McDonald's cheddar melt.
First we bring on the beef, spread on the cheddar.
Bold and saucy.
Much better now. Grill up the onion, stack it on a rye bun. Cheddar melt. For a limited time, so come on, all together say. Bring on the beef. Spread on the cheddar. It's a good time for the great taste of McDonald's cheddar melt. For a limited time.
So the Rangers are on the power play. Mikko Makela for holding. Watch Duguay keep his legs going here. He looks like a guy that's barefoot in a frying pan full of butter. I mean, he just keeps... He didn't even look as if he was looking for that much traction. He was just trying to make his point to referee Maruelli, and he made the point. Makela's off for holding. Keep in mind, the Rangers are 1 for 1 in the power play.
And it took them only 9 seconds that first time. 1-1 our score. Sutter wins the draw from Dion. Driven up the boards, but Shaw will hold it in for the Rangers. Into the corner now. Podubny gave it up there to Sutter. He'll start it down the ice and then flip it the rest of the way. And Beesbrook plays it back up the boards for James Patrick. He had it knocked away. Here's Leiter for Kerr. Couldn't get much wood on it, and a penalty here against the Rangers. As Leiter was tied up by Podubny. And the Makela penalty only had seen 21 seconds expired. Let's go back again now to Tom Bees in our NHL Tonight studio.
All right, Dave, while the Rangers and Islanders are tied at 1, the Penguins and Caps are tied at 2 in overtime. Less than 2 minutes to play. Let's go now to Mike Florence and Al Koken.
Challenged by Greg Adams. Hunter in to throw a hit. At center, Murphy. Back over to Scott Stevens. Murphy across the line. To Bobby Gould. A shot goes high over the head of Peter Angelo and wide. And now Adams in the corner has it taken down. Here comes Bodger. Up to center for Lemieux. Murphy takes it away with his stick, and with a minute to go in the game. Right in front of the Washington bench, it's tied up. The Capitals caught with some extra players out there trying to get the line change. Here's Lemieux alone. A backhand shot. He scores.
Lemieux with his 50th goal of the season, and the Penguins win in overtime. 3-2 over Washington. Let's go back to Nassau Coliseum. Rangers and Islanders, Dave.
And a great save by Van Beesbrook. He robbed the Islander captain who was going up high. And boy, we captured that Lemieux overtime goal. We saw Lemieux here on a penalty shot make Kelly Rudy look pretty silly. And right here, Sutter, not the same offensive abilities of a Lemieux, but boy, I'll tell you, that was ticketed inside the post of Van Beesbrook with a quick glove.
It wasn't quite as high as we were led to believe by the first look at it. You can see that Van Beesbrook catches it and then follows through all the way up. It's still a good save. Brent Sutter needed to chip it about another 10 to 12 inches higher than that to really beat Van Beesbrook to the top corner.
Boy, how about Lemieux? 50 goals.
He has 50 already?
Yeah. 50 in only 54 games.
See, I take a nap for a couple hours this afternoon, and the next thing I know, Mario Lemieux has 50.
That moves Pittsburgh up into a tie with both the Islanders and Jersey right now with 53 points.
Well, it also brings up the point that we had talked about before the game and how difficult it's going to be for the Rangers, even if they go on a tear, to make the playoffs, because they have to catch 2 teams.
Yeah, it's not just the 7 points. They
Right.
have to climb over 2 other clubs, and that's a lot harder to do than to just catch 1 team.
You bet.
Do a lot more scoreboard watching in that situation. Right here, we've got 4 skaters aside. 1:05 left in the Makela penalty. And about 20 seconds more than that left in the Podubny penalty, which will give the Islanders a very short-lived power play opportunity. McIver sends it ahead for Kissio. Kissio tips it all the way back into the Islander zone. Potvin back to get it. Leaves it there for Kerr. Kerr and Sutter up front. Diddick and Potvin, the 2 defensemen on the 4-skater situation. Potvin across the line. Drops it back now for Kerr. Wheels, fires a shot. Blocked in front. Shaw has it for the Rangers. Makela will be out in 25 seconds. Here's a lead pass for Kissio. Just off his stick. He's mad at himself. He'll catch up to it. Along the end boards. Now Potvin ties him up. But Sutter has the loose puck for the Islanders. Back for Diddick. Now Sutter. Checked there by Greshner. And the puck cleared center ice. Now Conroy sends it across for Janssen. Out of the box now comes Makela. Islanders with a power play. 19 seconds left in the Podolny penalty. Kerr sends it back to the line for Janssen. Moved it into the circle to the right of Van Beesbroek. Picked off by James Patrick. He's got some thoughts here shorthanded. Sends it right in front of Billy Smith. Picked off by Trottier. And Podolny comes out of the box. So no threat there for the Islanders with that man advantage. They didn't have much time, and that'll be icing as Van Beesbroek very wisely left it there for Gronsgren to touch first.
Well, we have further information on Chris Nyland's situation. It turns out that it's a little more than the knee brace. He has suffered either a sprained or a strained knee. Those things are pretty tough to diagnose. We have been unable to find out whether or not he's going to be back tonight. I would assume that because he missed the whole second period and didn't come out for the third, that we will not see Chris Nyland again. And that's probably about as much as we're going to be able to tell you about it tonight until the Rangers team doctors get a chance to examine him tomorrow. And I'm not sure we've seen Joe Patterson back on the ice in this third period, even though, Dave, you said you saw him come to the bench. So there goes our open. We had built a great part of our open around Chris Nyland and Joe Patterson and about the toughness they bring to the New York Rangers. Patterson hasn't been with us for a while now, and Chris Nyland hasn't been with us since the first period. So as quick as they come, they can go.
Draw control here by Dion. Back to Petit. He'll let the shot go. Deflected just wide. Now Kerr able to clear center ice. Look out for Gilbert. He picks Petit's pocket. He's in alone. Van Beesbroek the save. Loose puck. They score. LaFontaine. Johnny on the spot. And it's a 2-1 Islander lead.
The Rangers will be sick about this one. There were 3 blue sweaters back and only Gilbert, yet Pat LaFontaine came in and swooped in and jammed in the rebound. Watch this. Gilbert picks up the loose puck. It's Michel Petit that loses it. Now, if Gilbert gets his head up quicker, he goes around Van Beesbroek, but Van Beesbroek surprises him and comes out to the point where Gilbert can't go around, but you can see the blue sweaters. They were all over the place, and LaFontaine just zips in amongst them all. Here comes Gilbert. This will be a good look at it. See when Gilbert gets his head up. Right about now, well, it's too late. Van Beesbroek's out. He tries to shoot. The next guy to the puck is not Michel Petit. It's not Tomas Sandstrom. He's number 28 back there for the Rangers. It's Pat LaFontaine. We didn't get a chance to mention that he is the Islanders' game breaker. We have before. We haven't said that tonight. That's a big advantage that he gives to the New York Islanders. He is a game breaker.
His 33rd goal of the season. Gilbert and Kerr get the assist. On the goal by LaFontaine as they jam up along the penalty box area down in front of our broadcast position here. Now the puck comes loose, taken by Dallin, lets it go, and Billy Smith the save. Dallin pokes it in deep. Janssen sends it back. Lauer is there. Up now for Conroy. Lead pass for Sutter. Hops over his stick and down deep into the Rangers zone. Van Beesbroek wanders out and played that. Did it touch the glass? Marwelli rules that it did hit the glass, so no delay of game here. LaFontaine's goal has put the Islanders in front 2-1.
How to shave a giant. Avoid big trouble. Use the Gillette Good News Plus disposable. It's got the Lubra-Smooth strip, so the comfortable shave for a giant is
this little guy.
Good News Plus from Gillette.
A round of lights here?
Ask for Bud Light. The light beer with the first name and taste.
Let me know when you're ready for another round.
Back live from the Nassau County Coliseum, Dave Strader along with Bill Clement. You're seeing great action here on ESPN. We got you over to Pittsburgh to see the exciting overtime winner by Mario Lemieux. And LaFontaine's goal here early in the third period has given the Islanders a 2-1 lead over their crosstown rivals, the Rangers, as Kissio. Moved it along the boards for Duguay. In deep now for Maloney. Now Maloney was checked there by Diddick. And it's cleared by the Islanders center ice. Kreshner played it ahead, knocked down by Diddick. Now Trottier, tied up by pressure, comes back to the Islander line, and did a clip to that over the glass. With 13:51 to go in the third, Islanders leading here 2-1. Back to Tom Mees in our NHL Tonight studio. Tom?
All right, Dave, let's size things up now. The two other games are final. Buffalo beats Quebec 6-3. The Sabres now with 57 points. And they are well ahead of Quebec and now 6 points up on Hartford in the Adams division. And as we just saw, Mario Lemieux, his 50th goal in only 51 games for him. He missed 3 games because of injury. Penguins win at 3-2. Right now they're tied with New Jersey and the Islanders. The Islanders win this game. They'll go into second place, only 3 behind Philadelphia. It's wild in the Patrick, Dave.
Wild indeed. It'll be wild here in the third period before it's over as the Rangers drive it in behind Billy Smith. Janssen has it there. LaFontaine, whose goal is the difference. Gave it back to Janssen. Now for Conroy. Lead pass for LaFontaine. He was just across center ice, a 2-line pass.
LaFontaine has found the spark. Doesn't take much to get him going once he scores one. He scores in multiples. You check Pat LaFontaine's goal scoring, and when he gets one, he seems to get the sin to just take off from there. There's Joe Patterson. He's the player on the left that you see, not the player that's cut in half by your screen, but the player that you can see all of, sitting right down in front of Michel Bergeron. Boy, he's got a few welts on that face now. Tough, you know, I've seen careers ended. You get out there often enough and lose enough fights, and it can affect your whole confidence level, and then your game just seems to disappear from you, and before you know it, you're either in the minors or you're on the bench, or worse, you've retired. So the life of the fastest gun in the West and the enforcer, the bounty hunter, whatever you want to call it, the policeman, can get pretty lonely at times.
Joe Patterson indeed started his career in the minors along with Kelly Kissio here with the Rangers. They started in Adirondack. In fact, John O'Gronick, who's not in uniform, also started his professional career with the Adirondack Red Wings up the road in Glens Falls, New York.
Well, a lot of great pros started there, didn't they, Dave? Aren't you a Glens Falls native?
I had to get that plug in for my hometown. I know they're all tuned in to ESPN tonight.
It was a setup. Okay.
There's a scrum for it at center ice, and Gilbert comes away with it, backhands it in behind Van Beesbrook. Plays it back up the board. Janssen hustles over to hold it in. LaFontaine in behind that net, kicked it to Gilbert. Back for LaFontaine. He was well checked, and it bounces into the glove of Van Beesbrook. You know, we talked about LaFontaine being from the Detroit area. John Van Beesbrook as well. Played his minor hockey in the Detroit area.
You know, the latest rumor surrounding Van Beesbrook was that he was going to join Team USA, or that Team USA was making a concerted effort to get him. I'm not sure if Phil Esposito would part with him. Good coverage by the Rangers. There's Marcel Dion on the right of your screen, 16 in blue. Talked about him not being known for his defensive prowess back in deep, but he's done a pretty decent job tonight. That time he was turning around to face Alan Kerr, who was trying to get position in front.
Just about 7 minutes gone by here in the third period. Islanders with a 2-1 lead. And they'll have to drop that puck again. There's Joe Patterson out on the ice.
Well, you know, does he not have a Band-Aid up under his under his left eyebrow to our right? It looked like as if he had a Band-Aid up there. He also had some stitch action down around his lips. So, possible couple of sources of the blood that was all over the back of Gerald Diddick's jersey.
Patterson came in, it looked like he had some stitches on his face from some other altercations. Got into one his first game with the Rangers out in Vancouver with Garth Butcher. Now Lauer for the Islanders holds it in. Sutter couldn't collect the pass. Now it comes to the line. Leiter holds it in. His shot deflects. Lauer couldn't reach around and get a stick on it. Now it comes out in front, tipped away by Poddubny, and back come the Rangers. Poddubny sends it across looking for Dahlen. Now Dahlen picks it up and rolls it back in behind Billy Smith. Up for Derek King now. He had it, lost it. Poddubny drops it back for Patterson. Left it there. Dahlen with a shot. He fired it wide. Billy Smith decides he better cover it up. Well, moments ago, we saw Mario Lemieux score his 50th in overtime. He's just one of the many stars that'll be on hand at the arena in St. Louis as ESPN brings you live coverage of the 39th annual NHL All-Star Game.
You know what will be great about that game? The blockers and jammers don't really make it to the All-Star Game, so we got all Mario Lemieux and players that have great offensive ability. I'll guarantee you we'll see 8 breakaways in that game, maybe even a dozen, and the likes of Mario Lemieux and Wayne Gretzky streaking in on the best goalies in the National Hockey League so far. I get to use a telestrator, and for those people that don't know what a telestrator is, it's a thing that John Madden uses. I guess he's best associated with the telestrator, so I'll be able to do some third-grade art, see if anybody catches on.
Here's Kerr now for the Islanders. Across the line. He's checked there by Sandstrom, who got it back center ice, and now Potvin drives it back in behind Van Beesbrook. 8 minutes gone by now in the third. Pat LaFontaine's goal at the 4:48 mark of this third period has given the Islanders a 2-1 lead. LaFontaine out there again. This is Greg Gilbert. Sends it ahead. Intercepted by James Patrick. Now to Sear. Nice move to get clear. Takes the shot. Smith handles that one easily. Did it. Had it bounce over his stick. LaFontaine sends it out center ice. Took a hit there from Lucien Debois. Now Conroy bounces one in on Van Beesbrook. Michel Petit has it now for the Rangers. Now Grandstrand up for Duguay. Picked up on the move by Maloney. Back for Duguay. Rolls it to the corner. Kissio. Shouldered there by Makela. Now Maloney. Checked by Conroy. Maloney gets free. Bounces it out in front of Billy Smith, and it's picked off by Trottier. Ahead for Henry. And his pass picked off by Grandstrand. Clears it back the other way, and here come the Rangers. Right back into the Islanders zone. Kissio. Spins away at the rim of the circle. Lost his balance. Now they jam up along the inboards. Maloney gets it loose. A pass in front. Picked off by Ken Leiter. He knew Kissio was behind him. And Leiter made the good defensive play now. As Trottier through center ice. Carries into the Ranger zone. Drops it back for Makela. Now to the point. Morrow a shot just wide of Van Beesbrook. And Duguay, number 44. Sends it across for McIver. Now to Erickson. Looking in front for Podubny, but the pass was deflected away. Makela now tried to thread it ahead for Sutter, who was ahead of the pack. Dallin bumped by Sutter, aggressively back-checking. McIver again now. The free agent out of the University of Minnesota Duluth. Signed a couple of years back by the Rangers. Flips it in, and Leiter has it for the Islanders for Derek Cave. Now Sutter flips it in wide. Van Beesbrook chases the bouncing puck to the corner. Wristing it up the board. Sutter with a hit there on Dallin. Sutter gets the puck. And deep it goes for Lauer. Back for Sutter. And he couldn't get control for the backhander as McIver skates into the corner. Derek King tried to get it out of there, but Marwelli had blown the play dead. 9:42 left in the third, and the homestanding Islanders lead the Rangers 2-1.
Leave it to the good hands, people.
Yesterday, when George Tucker left the Allstate Claim Center across the street, he figured the only thing that'd bring him back was the pie he'd discovered. Unfortunately, the long, hot drive home exposed other minor damage that had gone undetected. Just the kind of thing Allstate Hidden Damage Protection insures him against. So today, Allstate gave George another check and a great new excuse for more pie. Allstate Hidden Damage Protection, another reason.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
Well, it's not hard to tell the Islanders have taken the lead. They've really clamped things down. Here, Kenny Leiter cuts the pass. There's where he had Kissio going behind him. He had no choice. He didn't have time to turn and take Kissio and play his body, so all he did was cut the pass. And when the Rangers cross the blue line, watch how quickly the Islanders try and take their options away and grind them over to the side against the wall.
Now Van Beesbrook couldn't stop that rolling puck. Sandstrom able to flip it up the boards. Rolls down wide of Billy Smith. That'll be icing as Johnson is back to touch it. And we'll have a face-off go back the other way. Pat LaFontaine's goal here early in the third period. The difference, we mentioned LaFontaine being from the Detroit area. And earlier this week, I had an opportunity to have lunch with a couple of people from the Red Wing organization. And four of the LaFontaine brothers, the uncles of Pat, and what a proud family they are of what Pat LaFontaine has accomplished. The number 3 pick overall in '83. There was a lot of speculation he was going to end up with Detroit that year. That was the year that Lawton went first. Turgeon was kind of a surprise pick as second. LaFontaine went to the Islanders. Red Wings ended up with a pretty good player in Steve Yzerman as the 4th pick. But the LaFontaine uncles, all involved in the automotive dealership industry, as you would expect around the Motor City, said that Pat really wasn't the brother that was supposed to be the good hockey player. He had an older brother that was supposed to be better. Pat was supposed to be too small, but he's proven that not to be the case.
Where is he now?
Yeah. Now Joe Patterson. Well, the Rangers over there, a couple of Islanders. LaFontaine, one of them, sends it back. And Beesbrook wristing up the board. Sandstrom tried to poke it ahead. LaFontaine knocks it down. Now Conroy. Ahead now for Kerr. He'll just backhand it into the Rangers zone. Less than 9 minutes remaining now in the third period. That pass does not connect with Dion, and this will be icing. As Leiter goes back to touch it, we'll tell you there's exactly 8:42 to go in the third period, and the Islanders lead the Rangers 2-1.
From Touchstone Pictures, an unstoppable killer is on the loose. A killer no one has ever seen in a place no one has ever been. Enter FBI Special Expert Warren Stanton.
This man is mine.
It's the very best against the very worst.
I'm gonna pull the trigger.
And only one will survive. Sidney Poitier, Tom Berenger.
Let her go or die.
Shoot to kill. Rated R. One show sneak preview Saturday night.
There he is, Pat LaFontaine. Boy, what numbers he had for done his last year as a junior. 100 goals, 100 assists. I mean, there's no question he has done away with the notion that small guys can't make it in the NHL. Here's a chance right in front. Van Beesbrook makes a save on Henry. Talent can overcome a lot of things. Petit now ahead for Kissio. Kissio looks for a chance, wristing it through. It was knocked down in front of Smith. He'll steer it away. Makela was going to roll it into him to stop the puck. Now back at the point, a shot goes wide of Smith. Now Leiter for Trottier. And backhands it all the way down. Van Beesbrook will have to handle it. Now here comes Bromstrand to pick up the loose puck. Drives it in behind Billy Smith. Picked up there by Derek King. King pushes it ahead for Lauer. Lauer backhands it ahead. Sutter saw that King was offside, so he pulls back. Sends it across for Diddick. Diddick either had a pretty good laundry job in that second intermission, or he has a different jersey in. Spray and wash. Those trainers have to do a lot of things, right, besides fix those injuries.
They really do have the great big washers and dryers right down by the Islanders' room here. You can hear them chugging away with you watch by.
Hoffman with a shot. Van Beesbrook to save. Here's King. Couldn't pull a string on the backhander. Fired one across into the corner. Now here's a chance for King. Overskates it. Sutter comes in. Then Van Beesbrook able to keep it wide. Shaw went down along the end boards for the Rangers. Islanders still with the pressure on. There's 4 players over there in that corner. 2 from each team. Now they jam it up. McIver tries to dig it out, but Marawelli blows the whistle to stop play as we let you know about an exciting college basketball doubleheader here on ESPN tomorrow night. Beginning at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, we kick it off with an ACC confrontation between the Yellow Jackets of Georgia Tech and the Duke Blue Devils. And that'll be followed by some great Big East action as the highly ranked Pittsburgh Panthers take on the Redmen of St. John's from Alumni Hall in Jamaica, New York.
Boy, the Islanders have it buzzing now. Just flipped over Derek King's stick in front, and there's Brent Sutter following up on the play. He was able to get up and contain, and the Islanders now are spending a lot of time in the Rangers zone. That's something they want to do. We're down to 6:50 to go in the third period, and they're nursing a 1-goal lead.
Across the line comes Deplois. Rangers need the goal to tie. It's dumped down in front. There's LaFontaine in good position defensively. And he'll start it back the other way. He drives it in behind Van Beesbrook. Boy, LaFontaine really has those skates going now. Now Kerr tied up there by Gronstrand. Kerr kicks it to the end boards. Gilbert is there. Taken to the ice by Deplois. LaFontaine on the loose puck. Brings it in front, and a great save by Van Beesbrook. What a move LaFontaine made. Looked like he's going to put it in on the forehand. He spins around.
That's a great move. It surprised the heck out of me. He turned on Gronstrand, and it looked like he was going behind the net. What a pivot. Here he comes. Watch him put on the brakes. Oh, it's actually on Michel Petit, and he doesn't go behind. Wow. He tries to do a quick stuffer. That's a heck of a play, you know.
That's a Denny Savard type move.
And if Van Beesbrook isn't sharp, he's gone to the other side of the net, trying to anticipate his move behind.
Face off to the right of Van Beesbrook. Kissio won that draw from Trottier. Here's Greshner up the left wing side for Maloney. He just flips it out center right. Now it comes back into the Ranger zone. Boy, in the absence of Chris Nyland, and with Patterson losing that confrontation to Diddick, you get the feeling that this Ranger team right now looks a lot more like the Ranger team of a month ago than they did in the first period with those two tough guys in there.
100%. I think their hitting has dropped off. They might have as many bumps as the Islanders out there, but they haven't hit with the intensity of an inspired hockey team, and that's what guys like Nyland and Patterson bring to you. They pick everybody else up. I don't think there's any question, even though the Rangers have played a pretty decent hockey game, they haven't played with the fire that they played in the first period.
Here's Trottier, sends it across the Ranger zone. Greshner played it up the boards, and it's cleared out center ice. On the move, here's James Patrick across the line, drops it for Duguay. He left it there for Maloney, but it was tipped away by Crom, who made a good defensive play there. Kissio ahead now for Maloney. Maloney took the wrist shot. Billy Smith handled that one with ease. Now Crom checked by Kissio. Duguay tries to dig it out of there. He took Makela down. No call made. The crowd wanted one. Maloney got it out in front, and Duguay was stopped right in front. Sent up the boards, and it's off the stick of Shaw all the way down the ice. So Van Beesbrook out to shovel it ahead for MacGyver. Just over 5 minutes left in the third period as that puck deflects up into the penalty box, and the Islanders lead the Rangers 2-1.
There's nothing like Pizza Hut pan pizza.
Making it thick, making it tall, making it splash and having it all. Making it heat, making it deep. Sizzle and drizzle, steam and steaming. Making it early, making it late. Pizza Hut, making it great.
The great taste of pan pizza. 2 layers of cheese, lots of toppings, and a chewy crust. It's America's favorite.
Pizza Hut, making it great.
Back live from the Nassau County Coliseum, Dave Strader along with Bill Clement here on ESPN. Islanders lead the Rangers 2-1. And if you've been with us all along, you saw the exciting overtime finish to that Pittsburgh-Washington game with Lemieux's 50th goal, winning it in overtime. Michel Petit backhanded it off the boards. It was held in, but now the Rangers had it and lost it. And Derek King just couldn't get control. Kissio checked, or rather that's Marcel Dion, who sent it across the Ranger line. It's held in by Lauer. He is stripped of the puck. Potvin stands up at the Islander line. Gronstrand had to wait for his teammates to get on side, and he lost the puck. Here comes number 32, Lauer. He was checked there by Podubny. Puck rolling in behind Van Beesbrook. Podubny back there, tied up with Sutter. And a quick whistle there for the faceoff. You know, it was in the papers here in the New York area talking about the Islanders. Apparently, Terry Simpson, the coach, got together with general manager Bill Torrey, and Simpson relayed the message to the Islander players. Look, there aren't going to be any trades. There's not going to be any major changes before the deadline, which is early in March, so it's pretty much your season to make. You did some right things the first 25 games. It hasn't gone so well the second 25, so I think the psychology being that the guys will relax, thinking they're not going to be gone.
But you know what, Dave? You know what that means to me in hockey language?
Well, maybe relax isn't the right word.
Now, you know what that means to me? Expect a trade. Honestly, and Bill Torrey might not even plan it. But you know that there'll be a lot of people trying to deal before the deadline. And I'm not saying that that wasn't spoken, but it's pretty tough to make that commitment when the phone rings and somebody offers the right deal for somebody you're willing to part with.
Well, Torrey did say if the right deal came along, he would make it. He did say that he had been in conversation with other general managers around the league, but that's going on all the time. And I think players, having been in the game, you're aware that management is talking all the time.
Sure they are. The last impact trade that Bill Torrey made was in March of 1986. There you can see the Islanders are out shooting the Rangers by a dozen. That was the Johnson-Elly deal that brought Crom and number 33, Steve Conroy, to the New York Islanders and sent one of the old guard, Johnson-Elly, up to Calgary. And that was the last impact deal. He signed Brian Curran at the beginning of last hockey season.
Those aren't a couple of draft picks we don't know about, are they?
Austin Field, Piston Field. Tough left winger just up from the minors. Didn't suit up tonight.
Want to wear his jersey, though, just to let everybody know that he's here. Puck back into the Islanders zone. Janssen sent it ahead for Crom. Ellie Kissio back to get it. For the Rangers, cleared it back up the left wing side. Now Duguay for the Rangers. Plays it ahead for Maloney. Maloney trying to collect the puck with Janssen right on him. Duguay comes over for the Rangers as well. That puck came loose. Trottier got it to Crom. Gets it back now to Trottier. Trottier in front. Crom tied up by Kissio. Michel Petit now with 3.5 remaining in the third period, and the Rangers need a goal to tie this game. They trail it 2-1. Van Beesbrook handles that long Ken Leiter shot. And here comes Dowland now, number 9. He's been a hot goal scorer for the Rangers over the last 2 or 3 weeks. 12 goals in his last 14 games. Now Patrick sends it back along the boards. Eriksson got it loose there. Here's Sandstrom, number 28, in front for Dowland. He was checked by Leiter. McIver came in from his point spot. Now Leiter clears it up the boards. Gilbert able to hammer it by Patrick and down the ice. Dowland has it with LaFontaine right on his back. All the way out center ice now. Bouncing puck. Eriksson flips it ahead. Smith out of the net. Plays it back to the corner. And Kerr will just lift it out of there. McIver for James Patrick, number 3 for the Rangers. Flips it in off the glove of Diddick. Dion will chase it down. Dion dumped it right in front. Diddick sweeps it away. And LaFontaine has it. Comes up on Gronstrand. Almost able to beat 2 Ranger defensemen. But it's cleared out center ice. Kerr with a hit on Sandstrom, who took a swipe with the stick, but the whistle blown quickly. I don't know. Marwelli may be looking to call something here with 2:21 to go in the third period. We'll take a break and see what happens. It's 2-1 Islanders over the Rangers.
Hi there. You looking for Mr. Wright?
Give this guy a light.
Wow.
And Bud Light here.
Ask for Bud Light, the light beer with the first name and taste. Because everything else is just a light.
Thanks. Keep the change.
Becoming an American Express card member is now as simple as picking up one of these. Because now you can apply for membership over the phone. Membership has its privileges. To apply, call 1-800-THE-CARD.
Alan Kerr, 2 minutes each for slashing.
Well, when we left you, Marwelli was calling a penalty. Here's what it is. Sandstrom and Kerr.
Sandstrom of the Rangers, Kerr of the Islanders.
Both off for 2 minutes. There's the push by Kerr. Do you see Sandstrom slash him when he went down?
They both got slashing penalties.
And Alan Kerr got up and gave the stick back to Sandstrom. And what that means is that the Rangers will be without Sandstrom for a couple of minutes. We're down to 2:15 now. He's a key guy. They could really use him in a 1-goal game when they're down by 1.
Here's Dion now for Devlois, just able to roll it in on Billy Smith. Now Sutter plays it up the boards. King just doing his job to hammer it out of the zone, but it'll be an icing infraction here. Unless Lauer gets there ahead of Gronstrand, and he does. So we're inside of 2 minutes to go now in the third period. Here's Sutter tying up Podubny. Lauer comes up with the puck, drops it back for Diddick, and it went by him back to center ice.
What a gift they let slip away, though. Gronstrand had to get back there before Lauer. I mean, that's a must. Bergeron was standing on the bench just shaking his head.
Dion sends it across. Here comes McIver trying to thread his way through the defense. Diddick rides him to the boards. Now Sutter. That hit James Patrick. He held it in, but it's kicked by Sutter back to center ice. Across now for Maloney. Here's James Patrick. Back for Maloney. Takes the shot. Smith the save. And the Islanders clear center ice. We'll keep an eye on Van Beesbrook. 1:15 now. Remaining in the third period. It comes across the line for Kissio. He's outside. And he was forced wide by Potvin. Kissio lays it behind the net. Maloney was checked. Now Duguay knocks it down. Back for Maloney. Maloney got it out in front. Smith the save. I believe it was Kissio that he robbed with exactly a minute left in the third.
Kissio got plenty of wood on that. Plenty to score if Billy Smith wasn't right there. Great work behind the net by both Duguay and number 12 for the Rangers, Don Maloney. There's Maloney. Duguay just jams it back to Maloney. Maloney now moves past Trottier, and it's Maloney that puts it out to Kissio. Kissio was in a tough spot to try and jam it into this side of the net, the left side of the net as we look at it. He shoots it right into Smith. Still pretty good coverage by Billy Smith, but some excellent work by this line of Kissio. They have been the thorn in the Islanders' side all night. They haven't been able to put anything away, but Kissio, along with Maloney and Duguay, have been the best forechecking line on the ice tonight for both teams.
Bergeron motioning to Van Beesbrook, and with the face-off deep in the Islanders' zone, it looks like Van Beesbrook will go to the bench, and the Rangers will put the extra attacker on at this point.
Yeah, I don't see much point in leaving Van Beesbrook out there.
Might not get another face-off like this.
Absolutely. And with that extra man out there, your chances of turning it over, even if you lose the draw, if you lose the face-off, are a lot greater.
Exactly 1 minute remaining in the third period. Islanders leading 2-1. Rangers drew first blood just past the halfway mark of the second period. Islanders tied it with a power play goal late in the second, and Pat LaFontaine's goal early in the third has given the Islanders the lead. Kissio and Sutter. Sutter won the face-off, but it goes to the corner. Now here is Podubny behind the net for Kissio. Trying to jam it in front of his block. Kissio got it right back. Podubny out in front, a chance for Sear, and Smith has it covered under the glove.
That time, Dave, they did lose the draw, and they ended up having enough people to go in and get it back.
Paul Sear, number 22, one of the 30 or so trades. Sear coming over from Buffalo for Mike Donnelly.
Here's a look at his chance right out in front. And, you know, I think if the Rangers are smart here, if they lose the face-off into one corner, they throw a guy right over into the other corner, because you know the Islanders are going to try and jam it around one way or the other up the boards. The Rangers will have James Patrick up high along the blue line. They will have nobody over in the corner. They have an extra man. That's where I always want to see him go.
Right here, the face-off goes to the corner, controlled by Kissio. Jammed it right in front, bouncing! They score! The Rangers have tied the game! All they did there, Bill, was just jam the front of the net. I think it hit somebody's body and went in. I don't know that anybody actually got a shot on goal as it was set up by Kissio.
Thomas Janssen was there, Dave. I think it might have bounced in off of him. The second goal to go in off of one of his own players. Now, a Ranger might have knocked it in, but Kissio just dumped it straight out in front. Let's see who wins the faceoff to begin with. Kissio wins it clean himself off the draw. Trottier leaves him. He just moves it in front. There aren't any Rangers there, folks. Well, there's one Ranger.
That was
Podubny. He might have been able to jam it in.
I think it's going to be Podubny's goal, although that was bouncing. Well, it was not going to go in. From that angle, it was going to go wide of the post.
Yeah, Podubny looked as if he jammed it home. So with 40 seconds to go in the game, the Rangers breathe life. It's tied 2.
19:20, the time of Podubny's 31st from Kissio. Now we're looking at overtime, but there's still 28 seconds left here, and the puck deep in the Islanders' zone. And here comes James Patrick in the corner. Looking to put it out in front. He does. It comes to Duguay. Lets it go, and it bounces wide of Billy Smith. Here's Erickson. Erickson trying to get it in front for Patrick. Bounces to Duguay. Here's Erickson again for James Patrick. He was tackled. Marwelli's not going to call anything now. 4 seconds to go. Devlois trying to get it in front. And, boy, it looked like the Rangers still had the extra attacker out there. It looked like a power play, Bill Clement. The Rangers just all over the Islanders, looking to end it in regulation. And right now, James Patrick arguing with Marwelli that there should have been an Islander penalty.
I think he might have a point there. The Islanders simply went back into a shell. They just lost it. They panicked, and that's what gave the Rangers even more chance to score. Be interesting to see who carries the momentum into the overtime. You got to think it's the Rangers.
The Rangers and the Islanders are tied at 2. We'll be back with overtime in just a moment.
Come aboard the Holiday Springs Banana Boat for fine dining and an entertaining time. The Banana Boat offers lunch, early bird and full dinner menus, as well as daily blackboard specials, including a complete salad bar. Get swept away in our lounge where you'll find 2-for-1 cocktails between 11 a.m. and 7 p.m. each day. During happy hour, choose from the many delicacies at our complimentary buffet. And enjoy your drink while listening to live entertainment Friday and Saturday nights. The Holiday Springs Banana Boat, 8000 West Sample Road.
There is someone who knows more about the use of electricity than we do. But he doesn't have an 800 number. FPL, however, is easy to reach, and they can tell you how to make energy-saving adjustments when they conduct a free home energy survey. Let there be light, and let it be affordable. To arrange your free energy survey, call 1-800-821-7700.
Imagine you were building a town. One company could supply you with almost any kind of truck to bring you almost anything you'd need. One company could lease, manage, and maintain a single truck or an entire fleet. One company could help get goods to stores, people to work, kids to school. That company is Ryder. We're more than yellow trucks. We help build towns, business by business, family by family, dream by dream. Ryder. We're there at every turn.
Thursday, the North Carolina Tar Heels try to tame the Clemson Tigers, and Brigham Young shows its strength in a shootout with Utah. Right after Oklahoma State meets Nebraska. Live Thursday night on ESPN.
Back live at Nassau County Coliseum. Dave Strader along with Bill Clement. We're working overtime here on ESPN. 2-2 our score. We brought you one overtime goal earlier tonight when we switched to Pittsburgh to see Lemieux end it for the Penguins. We'll see who has the momentum. Here comes John Erickson for the Rangers. First good chance, a shot and a save, rebound, Patrick! Oh, the stop by Billy Smith. Out to LaFontaine, center ice. His pass broken up. Now back for Erickson again. Diddick able to work it out center ice. Of course, in that Pittsburgh-Washington game, it was Washington getting the 2 goals late in the last 4 minutes of regulation, yet Pittsburgh able to win it in the overtime, so you can't always tell what's going to happen in the OT. But the Rangers certainly getting the first good chances here in the extra session. Comes out to Duguay. Johnson wrapped up behind the net by Maloney. Kerr gave it away there to Duguay. Goes to the corner. Maloney will get there first for the Rangers. Johnson jams him, and the puck was played with a high stick. According to Marwelli, so the faceoff will stay right there on the dot to the right of Billy Smith. The Rangers coming in have played 7 overtime games. As we take a look at the records there, you see the Rangers, no wins, a loss, and 6 ties. The Islanders, one of the better records, in fact, unbeaten in overtime. 3 wins and 5 ties as we take a look at the work of Billy Smith.
Now, James Patrick being up on the play is such a weapon, and only in the 3rd period late did he get up on the play a couple of times. He has the legs to, but really has been reluctant to tonight. Here is the tie-in goal. Kissio dumps it out in front. We will get a glimpse of it. Right there where Walt Podubny is able to jam it up behind Billy Smith.
That was Thomas Johnson, the Islander defender that was closest to Podubny. The face-off to the right of Smith. 3:46 to go in the overtime. Sutter sends it to the corner. Leiter lays it up the board. Shaw will hold it in. Takes the shot. Flutters into the glove of Smith. He'll clear it with the glove. Trottier sends it back for Morrow. Up the boards for Crom. He's able to jam it by Shaw to center ice. Sear has it there. Back across the Islander line, Kenny Leiter. Now for Morrow. Makela for Trottier. It was broken up. Makela has it. Makela with one of the 2 Islander goals. Out to center ice, and Potvin, who just came off the bench, rips it in wide of Van Beesbrook. McIver Up on the right wing, Dowling checked by Potvin. Potvin goes down, and a whistle here for a face-off inside the New York Ranger line. Bill Clement, let's take a look at the game keys through regulation time here tonight.
These are cumulative numbers, and if you want to look at two areas that the Islanders fell down in where they could have put the Rangers away, 1 for 4 in the power play. That's not a bad night, but if they had hit for another power play goal, they could have put them away. Go down to power breaks. None for the Rangers. 4 power breaks for the Islanders. They didn't score on any one of those, you know. They ended up getting a goal as a result of the broken play when LaFontaine came and swept in following Greg Gilbert's breakaway. But Sutter had a chance to score and didn't. So if the Islanders want to look to where they could have put the Rangers away early, look to those power breaks.
And that's where is you had an opportunity to talk on our 7 o'clock Sports Center with Al Arbor. You can't compare this team to the great Islander clubs. They don't have the offensive talent.
No, they don't. Power breaks, by the way, we're talking about breakaways and 2-on-1s. Islanders have had 4 of those tonight.
Patrick plays it up the left wing board. John Erickson is there. Plays it ahead for Sandstrom. Trying to break free of his check. Smith pokes it away. And that was Conroy that was riding Sandstrom all the way in. Islanders had their big goal scorer out there, LaFontaine. But the Rangers with the threat right now. That came across the line and was brought back in offside by Shaw, former #1 pick of the Nordiques.
He didn't have much that he could do with that one. Erickson dropped the puck, and he actually shot it back out of the zone. I just get shivers when I see guys that really aren't players that can see the entire ice surface well, make drop passes in overtime. Here's Sandstrom. Sandstrom's almost chance, being held from behind, but he was able to get a little piece of it. He tried to chip it in by Billy Smith, but Smith had come out to greet him. Played a pretty good hockey game tonight when he's had to.
Well, he came up big in the Islander win in Buffalo that ended a 10 or 11 game winless streak on the road. Made 42 saves in Buffalo, and the Sabres have been one of the hotter teams in the league since Christmas. Right here, we've got 2:10 to go in the overtime. Did it. Plays it back now for Potvin. Right up the middle, it goes down to Crom. Crom tried to pass it on the right wing. It was blocked by Maloney and Duguay. Shoved it back in deeper into the Islander zone. Crom takes a look and just fires it down the ice. And if this is wide of Van Beesbrook, which it is, the icing call will be made here, and that sets up a face-off deep in the Islander zone. And, Bill, we've seen the Rangers dominate on these face-off opportunities deep in Islander territory.
They've also dominated the overtime in shots. They've had 4 on Billy Smith, and the Islanders haven't been able to manage 1 on Van Beesbrook. So I think our suspicions have been confirmed about the momentum. That's when you tie a game up. You carry a lot of momentum in the form of adrenaline into overtime, but I agree with you. It doesn't mean you're going to win the hockey game, because the statistics show that it's not necessarily the team that pulls it out of the bag late in the game that goes ahead and wins, but tonight it's been the Rangers for the first 3.5 minutes of this overtime.
Down on the draw, Petit with a shot. That went just wide. Smith never saw that through a maze of bodies in front of him. Now Dowling behind the net. In the corner. Look at Trottier with a straight. He pushed Dowling to the corner board. Now Sear goes over to help out. Dowling has the puck. Spins away at the rim of the circle. Takes a look in front of the net. Tries to one-hand it in front. Sear does. It comes all the way out to Gromstrand. He lets it go. Smith the save. Rebound set back in front. Morrow clears it off the boards and out to center right. Gromstrand drives it right back in. Minute 15 left in the overtime. It comes back down to Sear. He lets it go. Missed it on the short side. Sandstrom just off the bench held it in. He gets it back. Now poke check by Sutter. Brent Sutter sends it ahead for Derek King. It's off his stick. And Breshner now with less than a minute remaining in the action. Islanders regain control. Here's LaFontaine. He'll probably be out here for most of the minute. He had a man open in front. Lauer, who picks it up in the corner. Back to LaFontaine. He knocks it down, but he is done. And it's a 3-on-2 if the Rangers hurry. Podubny across the line. And back behind the plate, Breshner and Lauer really getting at each other. And now LaFontaine and Michel Petit, his temper's really getting short out there. Something happened behind the plate. Breshner and Lauer trying to get at each other, and then LaFontaine wanted to have words with Michel Petit.
Tell you how the crowd was reacting here. None of us could hear the whistle, including all the players that were down on this break on the 3-on-2. These
penalties will all be at 4:18 of the overtime period with just 42 seconds remaining. So there's a broken stick on the ice over there by the Ranger bench. I have to believe that wasn't broken on a shot. Here's where, oh boy, he did get the cross check there from Michel Petit.
I don't know, it looked like he kept his stick down pretty well. I mean, he had to hit him face on with the body. Now, I think what happened is after the fact.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
LaFontaine coming up with a skate and catching Michel Petit in the leg.
So we have offsetting penalties with 42 seconds left in the overtime. I believe offsetting. Marwelli's still over at the penalty timekeepers. Brad Lauer already went down to the Islanders dressing room.
Number 4, Ron Greshner.
Greshner
Number 32, Brad
for the
Lauer.
Rangers.
2 minutes each for slashing. Time of the penalties, 4:18. That's Greshner of the Rangers, Lauer of the Islanders, 2 each for slashing.
2 minutes each for slashing. Lauer and Greshner.
You know, there's an interesting quirk in the Patrick division, Dave, and that is that the last place team, the New York Rangers, have a plus goal differential. It's +4. The Flyers, who are leading the Patrick division, have a -5 goals differential. They have scored 5 goals fewer, or had 5 more goals scored on them than they have scored. That just, I think, tells you that when the Rangers have won, they've won big this year, and when the Flyers have lost, especially early in the season, they've lost big.
Another important stat when it comes to the Rangers, by far the worst divisional record. As that bouncing puck handled by Van Beesbroek, and then Grandstrand and Trottier get the sticks up on each other. Rangers coming in, Bill, had won only 5 games against Patrick division opponents, 12 losses and 4 ties, and the next worst record is Pittsburgh, who with their victory tonight over Washington goes back to the 500 mark. Again, we remind you that our next NHL telecast here on ESPN 1 week from tonight from the arena in St. Louis, when we'll bring you live the 39th annual NHL All-Star Game. Mike Emmerich, Bill Clement, Tom Mees will be there. And I understand my partner in Detroit, Mickey Redmond, along to do some interviews down in the respective locker rooms. It'll be a good one from the arena in St. Louis next Tuesday night. Potvin drives it in wide of Van Beesbroek. Grandstrand is there. Bouncing puck now deep in the Rangers zone. Kissio will get there, and he'll just try to lift it out, but it's knocked down. Potvin a shot. Van Beesbroek will save. James Patrick looking to get it out along the boards and did not get it out of there, but now there's a Ranger player down on top of the puck with only 11 seconds remaining with the faceoff about at the top of the circle to the right of Van Beesbroek.
Maloney's played a hard hockey game tonight, the way he always does, but sometimes things just don't go the way you plan. You know, when you're a guy that only strays about 5 feet from the boards, certain games you have the leg strength, other games you don't. Well, tonight Maloney has had the leg strength, and he's been strong all game long for the Rangers. Tells you what's happened so far in the overtime.
Now, talking about the Rangers, their inability to win divisional games, the Islanders 12-9-2. They have the best record within the division against Patrick division teams, and both of these teams will see a lot of divisional play in the next few games leading up to the All-Star break and then after the All-Star break. Islanders play 5 of their next 8, the Rangers 5 of their next 6. So this Patrick division could stay confusing. Last chance here in the overtime with 8 seconds to go. Sandstrom sends it across for Eriksson. It'll be knocked away by Potvin. Makela will clear, and that will do it. So the Rangers on the road, Bill Clement, from their standpoint, and plus the fact they had to tie it late, have to feel pretty good about that point.
They do have to feel good. It's a 7-game trip. They started in Los Angeles and lost. Then they acquired Joe Patterson. They won in Vancouver. Then they acquired Chris Nyland. They won in Philadelphia, and they won in Boston. Here, they lost Nyland after the first period. Patterson was ineffective after his fight, but they still showed something in coming back and tying the Islanders. So on this 7-game trip, 3 wins, 1 loss, and 1 tie. Their goal going into the trip was 500. I say they're sitting pretty good. Once again, though, as we talked about, the problem is they have to catch 2 teams.
So in overtime, the Rangers and the Islanders skate to a 2-2 tie. So long from the Nassau Coliseum. Back now to Tom Mees in our NHL Tonight studio.
All right, Dave Strader and Bill Clement, thanks for a job well